everybody. Welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted podcast. It's me, Adam Hunter. We got a great squad today. We got Heather Jo Clark in studio, or in my studio apartment, as Hanato would say. I am here with Joe, the Kid Perez.
What's up?
CB, the Grenade.
How you guys doing?
And I want to thank our sponsor, American Icon Autographs, AIASE.com, the best sports and celebrity memorabilia and events. Signed collectibles from the UFC, WWE, baseball, football, everything else in between. Their past signings have included Fedor, Sakuraba, Rampage, Big Nog, Hoist Gracie, Paige Van Zandt, Cheech and Chong, Hulk Hogan, and more. Check out their website. See who's signed in next. Go to AIASE.com. The guy's name is Sean. He sponsors a lot of fighters. Really good dude. Also, tip a fighter. Listen, fighters are underpaid. Okay, we want to get fighters more money, so you can make a difference. You can go on Tip a Fighter and directly tip them because they win you money, or you like them, or you're just entertained by them. Maybe you have a weird crush. Whatever it is, you can tip them. You can also tip our podcast because we need it. So tip us. We are on Tip a Fighter. How was my week? My week was good. I was in Kansas City on Friday. I had to fly to Kansas City to do a military base, which was good. It was actually where they launch all the rockets to, destroy other lands if we go to war or something. I was in Kansas City, and they told me, though, they're like, hey, you got to be PG. Right when I got there. You got to do 45 minutes.
What?
PG, yes.
They told you right when you got there.
No, they told me before, but I was like, so I wrote out, a PG-ish set.
Did you bleep yourself?
No, I just figured out what to say, what not to say. But then when I got there, I'm like, hey, can I just read the crowd if they're laughing? Oh, go right ahead. That's what you always got to do. Young comic Joe is ask them if you want to read the crowd, and they're like, sure.
What does that mean?
Like, see if they're laughing or not, or if they're getting offended.
Okay.
But so they were laughing. I had a great time. It was funny because I'm up there for 3 seconds, and these two girls in the front. I'm like, oh, how do you guys know each other? They're like, that's my wife. And of course, I want to go into like all these lesbian jokes, but I'm like, great. So then I'm like, I'm not going to touch this. Which then everyone laughed, and it was just great. It was great. I got paid to make people laugh and make people that I really want to make people laugh. People that I really want to laugh. So it was great. He gave me like a $60 per diem for the hotel, which was in 2017 is hard. Wow. So I stayed.
You didn't stay in the barracks?
I stayed in the Super
Airbnb?
8. The Super 8 in Kansas City.
Airbnb.
I don't like being in someone else's house.
Are you worried there's going to be a camera watching you at all times?
No, you weirdo. Is that what happens? At
I don't know. That's
Airbnbs?
what I've been thinking. Like, I go to Airbnbs and I'm like, I haven't done anything weird, so it doesn't matter. But
I've never Airbnb. I just find it. It's
fun.
I don't know. I just feel like people are
being in somebody else's bed is kind of strange.
Yeah.
You're like, did they wash the sheets?
Yeah, at least with the hotel, there's probably
you think they did.
Yeah, exactly.
And now
My
you
dad
get to
always
think
said-
about cameras.
Now, thanks.
But the hotels, like my dad always says, like the maids coming in, they'll wash the bathrooms and then they'll wash like the everything else that they wash the sink and then the toilet with, and they're gonna wash over and like do the TV remote and all this stuff. Like,
yeah, dude, one time I was on Periscope and someone's like, "Hey, I dare you to lick the TV remote." I'm like, "Are you out of your fucking mind? Like, why would anyone?" That's probably the most disgusting. Every time I see, like, how much jizz is probably on that fucking because they have to be able to jerk off or have sex. They just grab the TV.
Yeah.
So,
It's the easiest access to the most diseases in one swipe.
or they're jacking off while they're holding the remote. I don't know, do you guys do that?
No, that's kind of weird. Why would you?
Flipping through the channels? I don't know. They're like,
but
that's a good one.
But that'll be the other hand, though. You'd have to hold it with the other hand.
Yeah, but you touch. I don't know.
All right, Heather.
Like Home Shopping Network, Home Shopping Network, Home Shopping Network. Fuck TLC.
All right. This is off to a great start so far. So anyway, so then I thought that the hotel was like 5 minutes away from the airport because when I booked it online, it said by the airport. So I wake up. I got a 7 o'clock flight out. I got in the night before. It was a very quick trip. And then I realized, I got up at 5:30, and I realized the hotel is 45 minutes away, and I gave myself 20 minutes to catch the flight. So I just fucking, I'm doing 99 miles an hour, trying to get there. I finally get there. Of course, it was one of those car rental places where you have to go to like not even at the airport. Yeah. You have to go to a shuttle, and then you have to get on the shuttle, and then I got on. They were like,
missed the flight.
No, I didn't miss the flight. I got there because I had no bags to check, and I checked it online. But I'm going through, and you know how like you go through the security and you do the whole like DDP diamond cutter thing, where you have to go like that. But I'm so late that I like moved through it, and the guy's like, "Oh, you moved. Now I gotta take you through extra security."
What?
Yeah. So this guy in Kansas City who has like 4 teeth and fucking 3 eyeballs with his backhand is like grazing my cock. I mean, he basically is like,
with the back of his hand.
Give me the whole pat down.
Did it move?
No, but I almost wish I had a boner just to make it really awkward. I'm like, fuck it, let's just really go all the way. And then there was something on my hands that set off an alarm. Then they put me to the back room. I'm like trying to get my flight. Then like some other guy fucking starts grabbing my. I'm like, great, I've been molested twice.
Did they do it up the thing
cavity
check?
search?
No, they didn't. No. Do you like it up the ass or no? All right, so
which one of them we were talking to?
what was that? I was
Which
talking
one
to you, Heather. I was asking
I'm
you.
sorry. I thought you were making eye contact with him.
Yeah,
so
well, CB, I know likes it up the ass, but I was asking you. So then that was
Thanks, Adam.
no problem. So
No
that
big
was
deal.
my Friday. I got back Saturday. I watched the fights, which we'll talk about. Sunday I was at the Laugh Factory and the Improv, which was cool. And like, the thing about the Dime Bar shows is it's a tough show, this room that I created. So when you do the Laugh Factory, the Improv, it's just that much easier. It's like, wow, people that actually came here to see comedy versus people that were there to go to a bar and they've been ambushed with comedy. But I got into I was on stage. It was like all black Monday night. For some reason, like, it was just like Black Monday. Like, everybody was black, except for like a couple of people in the crowd. It was packed. And there was a black comic before me, and these 4 people came, these 2 girls and these 2 guys. And the guy was kind of struggling. And then the guy starts yelling, "You need help! Get off the stage!" Like, just
my God.
And the kid didn't know how to deal with it. He tried to go back at him and like make fun of the guy's receding hairline, but you couldn't see the guy because he was burying his face. He was heckling while burying his face, which is the biggest pussy way to fucking heckle. And then I go up there and I'm doing well, but I'm like a couple lulls, but I'm doing a longer set. And the guy says something to me like, "DJ, get him off," or something. And I go, "Excuse me?"
The same guy?
Same guy. So then I was like, all right. I go, "Who?" He goes, "Yeah, you're not funny." I go, "Who here thinks I'm funny?" So the whole fucking crowd goes ballistic, right? And I go, "See, sir, you've been rounded off." And then he kept going. He's like, "Oh, well, you got lucky." I'm like, "Oh, who here thinks I'm funny again?" Blah, blah, blah. And then he had these 2 girls with him, right?
Were they hot?
They were hot. I'm like, "Is that your girlfriend?" And then the guy's like, the girl's like, "No." So then that's where I got him because I don't want to make any black jokes to them because it was all black and I'm a white comic and it just could have went south. I've done that before.
Like that one night?
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, "Who?" So then I said something to him like, "See, this is why you don't get pussy." I go, "Because your personality fucking sucks." And then everyone started, I'm like, you heckle at fucking bars. This is why you're 0 for 20 on fucking Bumble. This is why you
Bumble?
can't meet anyone on Black People Meet. We'll go over that in a second. And then this is why you try making a sex tape and someone yelled out "World Star." And then the whole fucking place went ballistics. People were calling me E-Rabbit from fucking 8 Mile, whatever that
Yeah.
Eminem.
yeah, Eminem. Oh, and then I just fucking murdered the guy. Like, murdered. People were running around the room. They were putting me on their shoulders. They weren't doing that, but it was... So that was my...
I've decided what I want to do with you
Turned
and
into
your
a
sets.
Jewish wedding.
What's that?
So I want somebody to film your sets
Yeah.
and get this crowd work in and then make like a fucking heckle highlight reel of your crowd work. That could be one of the funniest things that
On
have ever
YouTube.
been
You know what?
seen because it's not your bitch.
It'd go
Like,
viral,
It's you just
100%.
ripping
You know,
on people,
I- you
and
know-
you're one of the best I've ever seen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I wish there was somebody who didn't have a job could do that.
You just like blow up.
Shit,
You
I wish
just,
we could find somebody like that.
Somebody with free time,
Free time, no job.
someone who grafts for a living.
And we're taking applications now.
Yes, exactly. CB, why don't you do it, man? Do you have a video camera?
No.
Oh,
And I'm busy.
Well, you can't take
You're busy.
What about
Yeah.
the shows you've already recorded?
I have some of those.
Just going through those. For
I
now.
But
know,
like the dime, like people think that they could just run the joint when they're fucking sitting in the audience, and he tears
It's-
them a new asshole.
Well, I see what he does on the fighters. Like when I go to your shows, and you're like, "Oh, so so and so's here." I think he ripped John Wood one time. It was
Oh
pretty
yeah,
funny.
John Wood. By the way, I'm doing a show. Mike Pyle is
Randy.
doing his first stand-up
Randy
comedy
Couture.
show. Randy, yeah, I saw Randy, and then I've been working on this Bellator sketch, which is good. It's going to come out pretty soon. I like working for them. And then I wrote fucking 7 award show. I'm the only writer this year for the MMA awards, which is good and bad. It's good because
What does that mean? You have to write the whole show?
Yeah.
all the sketches.
Just
Did you do
sketches?
Renatos too?
What?
Renato.
Hanatos? No, I'm not doing Hanatos this time, but I'm doing the
Did you
MMA.
do his last time?
No, that was... I got him booked to perform, but I didn't do his...
Ridiculous.
that was one of the most insane stand-up comedy
It was
sets.
quite long, but it was good.
Yeah.
I'm so pissed they didn't air it. Like, no, you
Yeah.
can't get video of it. And I really,
Really,
want to
his
see it.
Hebok tuxedo.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's frustrating though with the award show because they're like, "Hey, what's the name wants to do a sketch?" So then I spent all night like till 5 a.m. writing a sketch, a parody song for this person or a song, and then they're like, "Oh, they're not going to be. They don't want to do it anymore. I'm just like that's happened a couple times.
Can we
so
write
far.
a parody song? I want to do one.
You want to do
a
one?
music video? Yeah.
Good.
Let's do it.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
Absolutely.
Can we do
Heather.
it about my blender? I'm just kidding. We don't have to do about the blender, but that always comes to
That
mind.
was really funny. Yeah. By the way, so we're going to talk about the fights coming up. Talk about Bellator. We're going to talk about it to a guy right now who fought on Saturday. Who a lot of people thought he won. It was a close fight. I think it could have went either way. I think that knockdown hurt him because it looked like he was more hurt than he was, even though he got hit in the shoulder. Aljamain now, let's call Aljamain Sterling. I like Aljamain a lot. He's a good kid. A really good kid, by the way.
He's very good looking too.
And then we'll talk about a bunch of things. What was that?
I said he's good looking. What's wrong with that?
Where's he
Nothing.
live? He lives in New York.
In Long Island. Oh, fuck, was some offline? What the fuck happened here?
You're not connected to the Wi-Fi?
I got new Wi-Fi. Oh, you fucking kidding me?
Well, while Adam's doing this, I'm just going to plug myself in for a minute
on.
while he's taking his time to find Aljamain's phone number.
Yes.
Right? Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
So if you didn't know already, this is the Hurricane, Heather Jo Clark. And I am actually going to be doing my own podcast as well. And it's going to be called Believe to Believe. And it's going to basically be me talking mostly with female fighters, of course, and talking about their times of perseverance. Basically, we're going to hear firsthand stories of, times where they felt that they wanted to quit or felt like they just couldn't do it anymore. And it doesn't have to just be for fighting. It could be, relationships or anything that just, was very trying and they got through it. And I want to hear those stories of how they got through it, why they got through it. And yeah, so it's going to be a very inspiring and motivating podcast. Definitely stay tuned.
Speaking of which,
cool, man.
let's talk about your fight last time. You fought this girl. I feel like they just bring you in, like they're trying to make you as like, I wouldn't say a gatekeeper in some ways to girls
Right.
that they're trying to make huge in the UFC. They brought you to Poland, right? You
Yep.
fought in England. Was
Yeah.
it England?
It was Holland.
Holland, and you fought that girl who fought Joanna, who went
Yeah.
5 rounds.
Yeah.
Carolina, great fight.
Okay, thank you.
Uh,
That fight or my fight?
Your fight, both fights were great.
Thanks.
You showed a ton of heart, and you hung in there, and you were always in the fight. But it just seems like they had a little bit of the striking advantage. And your last fight was against that Mexican girl. What's her name?
Alexa Grasso, who's fighting this weekend.
Alexa Grasso, who they were trying to make into a Mexican star,
Yeah.
undefeated girl.
Yep.
And
Both
your,
undefeated. They're both undefeated.
and your eye was completely fucked.
Yeah, yeah, it was weird. Like I went for a shot. It was probably like the minute and a half into the first round, and she threw a kick, and I blocked it, and then she threw again without anything before it, and I went in, and she kind of like moved my head to the other side to kind of sprawl, and as she was sprawling back, my orbital, my right side hit her knee. And I dropped, so it hit me hard enough, obviously, to break it. And then I dropped, and she kind of was like north-south position, kind of hit me a couple times. Didn't want to like circle to the back. She just wanted to try to TKO me, thinking that I was, hurt. But I popped back up, and she did a flurry back to the cage, and I couldn't see. And I just kept fighting. I was like, you know what? I'm not one to quit. Obviously, you've seen that. So I keep fighting, and then I go in the corner, and I was like, "Hey, coach!" Like Coach Robert's there, and I said, "I can't see." And he goes, "Shh, hold on. Maybe we'll come back. Don't talk so loud." And I was like, "What do you mean? Shh, I can't fucking see."
Now, when you said you couldn't see, like you saw double,
So
triple?
double and like some parts like down below it was like black, and then it was just like really weird. Like I could not focus clearly at all from my right eye. And so he's like, "Well, don't look that direction." And I was like, "Okay." And then he's like, "Well, can you fight?" And I said, "I don't know." And at that time I thought, shit, if he would have waved it off, I probably would have been okay with it. At that time, I was thinking, like, I don't know if I can fight. And then next thing I know, he's standing up and walking out the cage and asking me, like, "You're good?" I'm like, I don't know if I even said yes. But he was out, and I'm standing again, and here we go, round 2. And I know that I haven't watched the fight, but I remember it as, like, I let her kind of put me on the cage, and I'm thinking maybe, he'll come back. Let me just defend a little bit, because I feel good on the cage. Like, no one really holds me there. If I want to get off, I get
Are you seeing
off.
3 punches go at you at the same time?
Dude, I'm not seeing anything. It's just like it's like I'm seeing her, but I'm not seeing her. Like it's just have you ever seen double? Like you know, you're like, and they're moving, so then you don't
really fat
see
chicks and stuff.
There it is.
Go on.
you don't really see very much because when they're moving and you're seeing double, it's like now you're seeing just blurry.
Now,
It's
are
just
you
like
thinking go for the takedown, holder?
I guess I was thinking, go for the takedown, and I know I got her down. I can't remember what round I got her down. I think it might have been the first. I should probably watch it. Anyway, at some point I decided I needed to fight, so I started fighting, and but I was really kind of like timid because I couldn't see. And I remember coming back to the corner before third round and thinking, okay, just talking to him about what I could do. I still wasn't seeing clearly, but I'd accepted it. I was like, okay, I went out there in the third, and I think she jabbed me, and it like rocked me. Like if she would have followed up, I think I would have been done. Like I don't know. I've never felt that in a fight. She got me good. I think it was a jab. And then I remember being timid going in, and I'm hearing them like, you gotta go. And I'm like, I'm gonna get knocked out. I just gotta fight. Like I want to win this, but shit, what do I do? And
I was hoping, because I know that you have a really good right hand.
Well,
I think most fighters I talk to, they rely too much on their power. You're the only one. You're one of like a few fighters where I'm like, no. You have more power than you think you have, because I know that you hurt Rowdy Beck with your power. You've hurt a lot of girls with your power, but you don't sometimes throw that right.
She was very aware of it, and so she backed up anytime I stepped forward, so it was really hard, and I needed to like back her up to the cage and then hit her probably.
Was she the best girl you ever fought?
But no.
Who's the best one you ever
fought? Carolina probably.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I also learned a lot from that fight with Carolina. Like, she elbowed the fuck out of me. I mean, my jaw was, like, so swollen and painful.
How long did it take you to get back to giving head? Like, was it... I'm just saying...
So...
Go on.
Yeah, so after that fight, I had an orbital surgery. She broke my orbital. I had it broken before with Beck, even. So I needed to get surgery. And that was not a fun surgery. But
well, you look good.
Thanks.
You look good. You're healthy, and you're a fighter. You're very hard on yourself.
Well, I wish. Lastly, on the end of this fight, I think back now, and I'm like, you know what? I wish I would have been knocked out and tried, as opposed to being timid and not getting knocked out. Like I would have rather. No. I'm not saying I wish I got knocked out. I wish I would have gone out trying. Is what I mean, as opposed to. No, I was timid. I was, after that jab in the third, I was like going forward still, but not like I should have been. I should have been like doing what Misha did to freaking Holly in the fifth round of their title fight. I should have fucking done anything to get her down and submit her. And I could have. I know I had a better grappling game. I know I had a better wrestling game. If I would have just, and this is something Robert Fowler said to me recently. I saw him before I came out here, and he said, Heather, you just got to keep working your mentality, because you could have won that fight. Like, you're better skilled than these girls. You have that ability. Like, he's seen me in practice, and he sees what I'm a bit able and willing to do. But he's like, you just come to the point where you're like, I can't, I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to stop fighting, but I'm also not trying to win so much, like I'm just kind of hanging in there. He's not answering.
Speaking of not fighting, so Aljamain Sterling is not picking up. I'll call him. I'm trying to call you.
Text
now.
you. Yeah. So that's something that I need to work on. I need to keep talking with my sports psychologist.
Have you been doing that?
I did my whole last fight. I haven't really talked to him since.
Has it helped?
It helped. I thought it helped, but it helped me keep. Like, he said something that was really cool. He said, you only have like a jar of energy to use every day. Think of a mason jar, big mason jar. Okay, and at the end, when that jar is empty, you have no more energy. And so you can't use it to do whatever it is you need to do. And sometimes, like, if I sit there and I spend time fighting with somebody, and I use that energy, then shit, how am I going to train in the evening or something? Because I
love that. That's really great. I need to fucking, because I spend so much energy fighting with my dad or fighting with my friends or fighting with this person,
your audience,
arguing with the audience. Yeah, we're gonna talk about your sex life pretty soon, Joe.
Oh man, great!
You have no idea, Heather.
It's been a while.
Heather, but Aljamain just said he didn't pick up because it was private. But I'm going to. Is there a way to not make a Skype private?
Nope.
Hey, Aljamain Sterling.
Hey.
How are you doing, man? Hello.
breaking up.
You're just waking up? It's 3. It's.
He said you're breaking.
Oh,
up.
I'm breaking up. Oh,
Breaking up.
I'm breaking up. Okay, I'm gonna try calling you back. Wait, and then we'll try to get a better connection. Okay.
Oh no, I was asking if I was breaking up.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know we were dating. But how are you doing, man? What's going on?
I'm doing all right, man. Just hanging out. My family. I told them I was gonna take them out. Well, I told my little sisters and my mom I was gonna take them out. Now they're holding me to it. So I got a little obligation for tonight.
Now you have 19 brothers and sisters, correct?
Yeah.
No, he does.
Got a big family.
Yeah, he really does.
Wow.
I thought that was a joke.
No, he really has. So do you have to take out all 19 of them?
No. I'm not making Conor McGregor money.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
I'm making the lower class level money still. So I'm trying to move my way up like the Jeffersons.
Nice. Well, listen, man. It was. I watched your fight on Saturday. I was rooting for you. It was a very close fight. It could have went either way, kind of like Heather Jo Clark. But it was a very, very, very close fight. Did you think you won the fight?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's be honest here, man. I judge fights based on effective striking and effective grappling, octagon control. And aggression is the last thing that they're supposed to score. So from that standpoint alone, you got one guy landing all the clean shots, and then you got the other guy swinging and missing. And any shot that does land is glancing off the shoulder, or it's being returned with an answer. So if you're initiating the exchange, and then I counter back and then end that exchange with the leg kick or with the punch, in my mind, I'm winning those exchanges. I don't know, man. It was really frustrating because I'm thinking I was being hesitant in the first and the second round. Not even being hesitant. I was being overly cautious because I knew how good of a counterpuncher Raphael Assunção is. I mean, he hit TJ a lot harder and more frequently than he hit me in that fight, and I felt like I got away with more strikes than TJ was able to get away with. Whether it was different because TJ threw more punches than I threw kicks, I think it's the same exact fight, you know? It's just TJ threw more punches upstairs. I threw more punches at the body and at the legs. It's just very hard for me to understand what the exact scoring criteria is in this sport
Well,
because
it keeps changing.
I've never
too.
been in this situation. Whenever I do fight, I normally fight the same exact way, except at some point my opponent gets overly aggressive and I end up taking them down because they overcommit on the strikes, and then I end up finishing them. So in the last few fights, I didn't finish both my opponents. But at the same time, I fought exactly the same. So in my mind, I'm winning the exchanges. I'm winning the fight. But obviously, I didn't get the takedown. So minus the takedowns, I still think I won. I don't know. I still think I won on the strikes. So it's just weird. You know, you get the fan love when you're winning the fights and you're getting finishes. They love you. And then when you're doing the same exact thing and you don't get the win, all of a sudden, oh, you need to work on this. Oh, you need to work on that. Oh, he wasn't doing this and he wasn't doing that. Oh, this guy shut him down. I'm like, really? Because in my mind, I did the same exact thing I've been doing my entire career. So it's kind of mind-blowing to me. I don't know. This sport still doesn't have its own scoring criteria down and set right. So it's a coin flip every single time guys go out there to fight. You really never know what the hell's going to happen unless you finish your opponent.
And it's messed up when you get half your paycheck for that.
And
you know what I mean?
It sucks when you get half the paycheck when you wholeheartedly think you won the fight. It really sucks.
Yeah.
So if you
I don't know,
let's say it's Saturday night or Friday night, and you know what you know now, what would you do differently?
That third round is what I do as soon as that bell rings.
Yeah, just come forward the whole time. Pressure.
Come forward the whole time. Because apparently coming forward and not throwing any punches is a better scoring criteria than someone landing kicks and circling and using angles and footwork to get out of the way. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. It's like these judges obviously just didn't score leg kicks because if you check the strikes thrown and the strikes that were landed, I almost doubled him up in that first round alone. So if people can say all they want, I wasn't aggressive enough or I didn't use my boxing enough. I should have threw more punches to make it more definitive. Yeah, you can say all that, but then you got the Mayweathers of the boxing world who are doing the same exact thing, throwing the bare minimum, landing and scoring points, and you know it's scoring. In MMA, we don't know what's scoring. A leg kick doesn't weigh the same as much as a punch that punches my shoulder. And, it's just so mind-blowing. I'm watching this fight over, I'm just like, I just can't see how. The Callaway fight, I can see how you could be like, oh, he had a minute and 30 seconds of control over me using footwork and landing 1 or 2 shots here and there for 3.5 minutes. Okay, I can live with that. But this fight where the guy is doing absolutely nothing but walking forward and following me, I'm controlling the ropes. He's doing my dance. I'm making him follow where I want to go. I'm dictating where the fight is going, and he's trying to chase me, and I'm the one landing strikes, backing out, using my... I'm thinking I'm cutting beautiful angles, and he's missing, and I'm winning the fight. I don't know, man. There's no scoring criteria. What counts and what doesn't count? I like to know. I like to talk to these judges before the fight. Hey, when we fight, what should I be looking for more of so I can know that I'm winning the goddamn fight? I don't know, man.
Well, it sounds like you're really good at letting it go. So no, you know what, Aljamain, I like this attitude because as a wrestling coach, there are 2 types of kids that I coach. The kid that gets upset when he loses and fucking has a tantrum or whatever, and the kid that's indifferent. And I'll take the first kid any day of the week because that kid cares. So I like this. I like that it's getting to you. It shows that you really care, It's hard though. It's hard for I couldn't imagine because both the fights that you've lost, they could have given both of them to you. So it's got to be frustrating versus like getting dominated or getting knocked out. Yeah, you lost. Where now it's like fuck,
Yeah.
That's got to be hard.
Yeah. That's essentially what it really is. And then I have people harping on me for going out and having a good time. Like I'm not human, and I should go home as soon as I lost the fight and soak in my tears and tell myself I'm a bad person. I'm a terrible fighter.
Listen, you can't listen you can't listen to the fans.
Yeah.
Listen to me, but other fans, you can't let it get to you because they haven't been there with you. They don't know you. They're not in practice every day. They're not doing 3-a-days. They weren't college wrestlers like you. They weren't high school stars like you. So why should they tell you what you should or should be doing?
Yeah, no, I entertain it only because that's who I am. I'm not the type of person someone talks shit to me and I kind of just back down. And I don't get overly aggressive. I try to troll people back because I have a sense of humor. If you're gonna say something that makes sense or it's funny, I'm gonna respond. But if you're gonna just straight up talk shit, I'm just gonna be like, all right, this guy could go screw themselves, and I'm not gonna even bother giving them the time of day, But some people, they make legitimate points, and I feel like they're being sincere, so I give them the time of day. But yeah, man, it's just I care, man. I do care. I'm going back to the drawing board, and we reviewed the fight. And like I said, we took a tally of all the strikes thrown. The UFC, at the end of the fight, man, they posted a screenshot of the stats, and they said I threw 13 punches. It said I threw 13 punches. It said punches, 13. And in my mind, I'm like, I probably landed 13 punches in just that third round alone.
Yeah, that's weird.
So how is that? How do those stats even make sense? So you got the commentator Brian Stan, who's Raphael Assunção's teammate. He's over here talking up everything Raphael Assunção does. I block Raphael Assunção's kick. I check it and I return it Thai style with a hard leg kick. I would like one of these judges to let me do that shit to them and tell me how that feels, and they let me know if that kick doesn't have any significant strike to it, and see how they feel the next day when they're trying to walk. Raphael Assunção's leg is shot right now. I damn near broke my foot trying to break his damn legs to throwing leg kicks. So, I just don't know. Like, should I just abandon leg kicks altogether and just say, hey, I'm just going to box from now on because I don't know what scores more when certain judges are judging? I don't know, but I care, man. I want to be the best in the world. I know I have all the tools in the world to do it. I'm always learning. I'm still young in this game, man. I started this. I'm only like 5 years in. I went pro in 2011. I took a year off from surgery, shoulder surgery, and look how fast I progressed. I mean, I feel like I show leaps and strides in every single fight, man. It's very frustrating when you have somebody taking it away from you.
I think in some ways you have too much talent. I think you're almost like if you had less talent, maybe you would be more aggressive. I don't know what it is, man. But dude, you're right there, man. You're in the top 5 in the world of what you do. You're right there. Assunção is right. Come on, don't let's I hear you.
No, I'm not beating myself up about it. I'm just frustrated with the judging system in this sport. It makes me, because now my back's against the wall. It just puts me in a weird position because these judges don't know what the hell they're doing, and it makes me look like I'm not as good as I am. And I'm not saying Raphael's not as good, but I think I definitely showed who the better fighter was that night. And I don't know how you scored the fight. I know you said you had me winning, but I don't know how you scored in terms of the leg kicks and the punches. But I feel when you're getting punched in the shoulder or glancing off your arms while you're circling away, those strikes don't count. They don't count as the leg kick that's landing with the shin. They don't count with the jab that's snapping your head back. I don't see how those punches can outweigh the output of what I did and what was landing compared to what he did. That's all I'm saying. And even after the fight, I had guys from his side saying, they thought it was close, and they actually told them that they thought I won. They thought I won because in my mind, deep down inside, I thought I won the fight.
Do you think possibly like you were kind of taunting him a little bit, making faces, saying no? You think that might have worked against you a little bit?
No, how would that work against me? If anything, it should get Raphael to want to commit more because he's throwing kicks and I'm doing what we call a hollow out technique, where I slide my lead leg back a little bit, where the kick just whips away. And if anything, he just catches me with his toes, and that hurts massively to your opponent.
No, I'm saying with the judges. I'm doing that, right, but I'm saying, but the judges might go, "Oh, this guy's too cocky," or "We don't like this guy." Or,
yes, 100%. And this is my other issue. You got all these MMA article websites. I went on the line the next day and typed in my name and versus Raphael Assunção. I'm reading the reviews from these MMA quote websites and journalists, and all they do is downplay how bad I am and how my stand-up is lacking. So if my stand-up was bad and lacking, then what the hell was Raphael Assunção, who threw half as much as I threw? I just can't see how you can talk me down and talk him up. What did he do in that fight that makes you say, oh, he's one of the elite of the elites? You see what I'm saying? So it's almost biased because when I first came into this game, oh, it's a miniature John Jones. Oh, this kid is so good. His ceiling is so high because I'm winning fights and I'm finishing fights. I get a few fights that go to decision, and all of a sudden, this kid's not that good. His stand-up sucks. Yeah, but it wasn't. My stand-up didn't suck when I was finishing guys. My stand-up didn't suck when I caught a guy from an inverted triangle off my back. My stand-up didn't suck when I almost decapitated Johnny Eduardo, who's another elite fighter. So it's like when I get finishes, it's okay. But as soon as the fight doesn't go my way in terms of me getting a finish, all of a sudden, all my other flaws that I have seem to stick out more than everything else. I have flaws. I never said I was the best fighter in the world. I said I'm confident in my skill set to beat people because at the end of the day, I lose in training. Sometimes I lose to amateur fighters and I get beat up. And guess what? I have my good days and I have my bad days, just like anybody else. And I never once ever said I'm the best in the boxing realm. I'm the best kickboxer. I think I'm one of the best grapplers in the world. I think I'm one of the best mixed martial artists because I put it together better than most guys do. And I think I understand the fight game a lot better than most guys do. At the end of the day, the object of fighting is to fight and to hit and not be hit. I feel like I do that better than most of these guys out there. And you can call me crazy and say I don't know how to take a loss the right way or I'm being a sore loser, but it's the truth. You can break down the fights. If you have any common sense, you could break down the fight and minute by minute and be like, who won this minute? Who won this minute? And then you could be like, all right, as the overall picture of this round, this guy is the guy who won this round. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, man, but it's. I think these journalists, I think the judges, they look at me different and they're biased towards me, man. They think, oh, he's a freak athlete. He has all these muscles. He should be able to do this, this, and this. But this other guy's staying in there. He's hanging in there, and he's not landing anything. But since he's going forward for a little bit and not landing shit, he's the more superior striker, even though he threw half as many punches and landed none of them to the face. That makes no sense to me. I don't know.
No, you're also a good dude. You came and coached my wrestling team on your free time. You took in a homeless person and Gabe.
Me at Venice Beach.
Yeah, so that you met CB in Venice Beach. You're a good person.
Uncle Fucky.
Uncle Fucky. Is that Gabe? Uncle Fucky.
Yeah, Gabe is Uncle Fucky.
Gabe will be here tomorrow. He's a huge fan of yours, so he's a good dude.
Gabe's cool, man. Yeah, I've never seen a skinny guy his size eat so much. This guy, like every 2 hours, He's like, hey guys, you guys hungry? You guys hungry?
That's probably because he's stoned the whole fucking time.
Exactly.
Yep.
Now, is Al coming back? Al Iaquinta?
I believe so, man. I know he wants to go up a weight class, so everything is just easier on his knee. I mean, man, the stuff we do to our body is so insanely ridiculous to try to fight at a lower weight class so that we could fight a guy who should be in our weight class and then put all the weight back on. It's actually mind-blowing that we still do that and think like this age. But he's in Australia right now, killing it, beating up kangaroos, surfing some waves, and he's looking for jaws.
Nice.
And making some money teaching some seminars.
How's Chris Weidman doing?
I haven't seen him yet since I got back. I got back yesterday morning. But I'm sure he's training hard, getting ready for Gegard Mousasi up in UFC Buffalo.
Nice. And then how's the how's the girlfriend?
She's doing well, man. Things are going smooth right now. We've been patching things up, and you know.
Oh, patching things up. Oh, you guys were on a rough patch. What happened?
Yeah, you know, it's life, man. You go through those patches. You know, you got a hot tamale like her, and you got a young stud muffin like myself. Sometimes you go through a little patch, you know.
Nice,
but,
nice.
Working things out, things are good.
Nice.
Doing the real estate thing, you know, killing it.
Nice.
Trying to make my money work for me, so when I'm done with the sport, I'm not old and crippled and miserable and without any dollars to my name.
I hear you, man. Well, listen, Al, thank you very much for coming on the show. Can't wait for your next fight. Whenever it is, I will always be rooting for you, and take care, man.
I gotta ask you something before I go.
Sure.
What your honest take on the fight? I don't know if you rewatched the fight, but your honest opinion of what was happening. Like, who do you think was controlling the fight? Who do you think was landing the more effective strikes? Not because I'm on the phone. If you say it's him, it's him. But I just want to know what your
honestly.
take was on that fight.
I'll tell you honestly. I thought you won the fight. I thought you won round 1 and 3. I thought round 2, even though the knockdown was to your shoulder, they were going to count that as a knockdown. Even though, just because look, it was a knockdown. I wasn't surprised the judges gave him the fight. Even though I thought you won, I for some reason I thought you were going to get robbed because I don't know. It was like I've watched so many MMA fights where I know for some reason I kind of know what the judges are looking at versus I know what they should be looking at in some ways, because my little brother texted me. He goes, hey, I think Aljamain won that. I go, yes, I think he won, but I wouldn't be surprised if the judges gave it to him. I don't know why. That was my honest take on it. I thought you won. I didn't think it was the worst robbery I've ever seen in fighting, but I thought you won. I just wish you had hurt him more. You know what I'm saying? Like you landed more punches. But I wish you would have taken him out more.
Yeah. I guess I was trying to be too smooth. I guess making opponents miss doesn't weigh as much as I don't know.
Now I feel bad for you. Now you're making me. Now you're making me feel bad. I
don't want. No, I wasn't trying to make you feel bad. I just want to watch the fight one more time, and I'm gonna actually do a stat count, and I'm gonna do the breakdown because I just want people to understand where I'm coming from, where my head is at. And again, nothing against Raphael Assunção. I think he showed up. He did the best he could do. And you got two counter strikers. That's what happens. You guys would kind of negate each other, and nobody wants to take the fight to the ground. I was dead set on standing up and fighting because I was tired of all the criticism. People tell me, "Oh, I can't take a punch. Oh, I'm afraid to get into a dogfight. Oh, I'm afraid to exchange with guys." I'm like, you guys are just stupid. Why would you want to get into those kind of fights when you do not have to? And that's always been my mindset in the sport. I'm like, I'm the least hit guy in this division because of a reason. I want to be. If you want to be the most hit guy in the division and think that's the most exciting way to play, great, that's cool. But I guarantee your brain looks like freaking macaroni and mush by the time you're done fighting in the sport. So kudos to you for that. I hope you feel better about your life in about 10, 15 years when CTE catches up with you. But it is what it is. And I know that sounds harsh, but it's the cold-blooded truth, man. I fight the way I fight because I feel like the art of fighting is to hit and not be hit. And Anybody who disagrees with that, I think you've never been in an MMA octagon to know what it feels like to get punched with one of those little gloves. But that's just my take, my 2 cents.
No, I totally agree, man. And watch it one more time, and then don't watch it ever again because I want to see you.
I think I felt great. I don't know. I thought I felt great. I can't be mad at myself.
You did fight great. You fought great. You fought one of the best guys in the world, and you won. You arguably won in most people's eyes, but you can't. You're right there. You are right there. So, relax, hang out, bang your beautiful wife or girlfriend, have fun, take your 35 siblings to lunch, and I'll talk to you soon, man.
All right, you guys have a good one, man.
Thank you.
Have fun, and I wish I got to get some of that good old Denver before I left. I didn't get to enjoy the Denver stuff, but next time.
All right, thanks, brother. I'll talk to you soon, man. Thanks, Aljamain.
Later.
All right, that was Aljamain Sterling. Heather, what do you think?
I watched that fight, actually. I was packing and stuff during that, but I came downstairs and I watched it, and I thought it was a really good fight. It was really entertaining. I kind of have to agree with you. Like, it sucks the way the judges is ridiculous. And, like, my first pro fight was kind of like that. Like, I lost a decision. I thought I'd won, and then I was like, okay, I can't leave it to the judges anymore. I finished my next 5 fights, and then the competition started getting harder, and it gets harder. Like, they both are respected. They kept, like, I think Joe Rogan kept saying that about his fight. Like, they respected each other so much that they kind of, like, hesitated both. And it happens.
Do you understand what he's going through right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it sucks.
TB?
I actually just wanted to ask, like, as a fighter, is there a point, because he was very strong in his convictions about his performance, and I agree with him. He had more action, all of the above. But
yeah, he landed more.
Do you think sometimes fighters, like, if you're in a fight and you go to a decision, do you think sometimes there's like a thought of, like, I did more, and then later you go back and you're like, yeah, I probably actually did lose that fight? Like, you think because it's yourself, you're like, I think I won, even though...
Well, of course you're biased, and just like you're always biased for the person that you want to win as well. You're going to see what they're doing more, or like your friend or whatever is always... I think there's just... I don't know. And like he said, there are punches that he landed more significant, so meaning he hit the head of the guy more, whereas like... Raphael was doing hitting his shoulder and stuff like that. So of course you're going to see what you want to see. I think that's just the nature of humans. But it's I don't know. I'm thinking if there's a fight. There was a fight that I thought I won. I mean, I don't even want to say which fight it was because it will just create a whole nother spin of more shit.
Felice Herrig?
Maybe.
Yep.
So, I mean, it was, a split decision. I broke my arm in the fight and, like, went and fought for 8 minutes with a broken radius, which I do have a plate in now. So it's like, I watched that fight and I was like, yeah, I thought I won. So, but
do you think that I think the taunting hurt him? I honestly do. I think the judges... Like, you get certain judges that don't like that. They think it's bad sportsmanship or whatever it is.
Like the Diaz brothers.
And the Diaz brothers. And they end up giving the other guy the round based on the attitude of the fighter, which is bullshit. Because, I mean, taunting, like, I think he was taunting to try to get the guy out of his game plan. It was an effective way of or he was trying to be effective with it. It wasn't like he was taunting, like, just being a dick. He was actually trying to get the guy angry. But judges sometimes get these like pure Christian judges. I don't like that black guy's attitude, or whatever it is.
I don't know. I wouldn't see. I wouldn't even think that would be part of it. But that's, I don't know. The judges. I've never really sat down and talked to the judges. I'm cool with the refs. Like, I'll sit there and talk to John McCarthy. No, I have not. Go on. I'm saying I've talked to them, like John McCarthy, Herb Dean. Like, I've had conversations with these guys. To me, they're amazing because they know the sport so well. And so I'll talk to them about my fights and hear what they. Herb actually reffed one of my fights in Oklahoma, like in a small women's all girls show.
Was that Hook and Shoot?
No. What was the name of it?
It was a real thing, Hook and Shoot.
Go on. I forgot the name of it, but yeah, I put the girl to sleep.
Nice.
And
Did you-
Herb was my ref, and so he always remembered me after that. And I was like, I kind of blown away that he remembered who I was after that.
I love putting girls to sleep. You know.
UNCB.
By the way, yeah, he actually kills them. They never actually wake up.
Fuck, did I get added into this? And who are you to talk shit to me?
Yeah, by the way, how's
sir?
right there, man? It was
Fucking
right there.
Tinder?
By the way, how's your dating life going?
Oh man, I sort of put it on hold, but I did take that girl to your show.
Oh, she was hot.
I know,
What
right?
happened?
Well, I know I saw her a couple times after that. She loved you, by the way. She thought you were hilarious.
Thank you.
Even though she doesn't really speak English that well.
Go on.
So I talked to her. We haven't done anything yet. We haven't done anything.
Wow.
Only because I like her.
She doesn't understand fucking English.
Have you sent her any dick pics or no?
No. But
Okay.
she's jerking me off, but it's no big deal. So, but this is the thing. I asked.
Wait, that is doing something with her.
Well, I mean, not like intercourse.
Okay, but she jerked you off.
Yeah, but
Where?
that's not important.
All right, go. I know.
Welcome to MMA Roasted, Heather.
But
Trust
where
me,
where
I'm not
did you take her
surprised.
that you got a hand job?
My apartment.
Oh, nice. Were your parents home?
No.
Go on.
Your dad was
No.
watching through a peephole in the wall.
I hope not.
His dad was coaching her.
That was
He
a
was washing the
possibility.
sheets.
All right, go on.
So I asked her. I always like to ask girls like what they're into, like what kind of freaky stuff are they. It's sort of like you. You're like my inspiration for
Thank
this.
This is opening line.
Go on.
So it's so weird. She said this is kind of scared me a little bit. She said that she's really into like what's it called, foreplay and like fantasies. But she says she likes
You
rape
mean
fantasies.
role playing?
Wait, role play, not
Rape fantasies.
Wait, okay.
Yeah,
First
but
of all,
like his
foreplay
joke,
is
though.
like
That's
making
like his
out
fucking
and like
joke.
Yeah.
that type of shit. Are you talking about role playing?
Yeah, role playing.
yeah, not foreplay. Foreplay is like going up a girl's shirt and stuff, like kissing them, maybe some finger banging.
We are back.
So, all right. So she did the role playing.
Yeah, she says her number one is she wants to be raped.
Right. Well, introduce her to CV. So,
No, because I have a staying out of jail fantasy.
oh, no, that's my joke. All right, go on. So, wait, what happened?
So I kind of worried me. I'm like, all right, what else do you like? And she says she likes like the brother sister fantasy. I was like, all right, that's pretty hot.
Well, Heather, you're not into this stuff? All right. So, what do you mean? Heather, why? Yeah. What do you mean, brother sister? Like she watches brother sister
Like
porn?
she wants to
Pretend
foreplay.
he's her brother.
She wants to
He's her
foreplay.
brother.
Yeah, she wants to
Role play.
foreplay as me
Wait,
as her
role play.
role play me
Yeah.
as her brother, and
Yeah.
she's a sister, and she wants me to break in the middle of the night and like finger bang her and like put some chloroform over her head. Put her. So, I don't know, something
Wait,
crazy.
this is like This is like rape, brother, sister, fucking like I.
Wait, she asked you to do this?
yeah, she said that's the kind of stuff she likes, and I don't know if I should. It's kind of creepy
Wait, you
to be
mean you met her on
honest.
Tinder?
I think OkCupid.
You're on OkCupid now?
I'm on all of them, dog.
Fucking everything.
All right,
dude.
go on. All right, so Heather, what's your advice on this?
Is that weird? Do you think?
I think so.
Yeah, brother sister. I never had a girl that was into that. That is strange. I had girls that had rape fantasies, which is annoying because you don't know. Like I had a girl like hold me down and choke me. I'm just like,
Where she
Can I
wanted to
sign-
rape
can
you?
Sign a waiver, please.
yeah. I'm like, I don't. No, I had a girl one time that told me she was into rape fantasies, and she started yelling rape, and there were people in the other. I'm like, shut up. I swear, it was like I forgot. I think it was like somewhere, but it was on the road. I'm like, hey, listen, you got to stop because people are gonna think I'm raping you, and that's not. She's like, I don't care. I do this all the time. I'm like, no. Listen, this real.
No way.
I swear, this girl was into that kind of shit.
And she was yelling rape.
Kind of,
exactly.
not really,
I don't think
but
so.
she did maybe yell.
She maybe was yelling, but she wasn't yelling rape.
I just like end up jerking off in the corner of the room because I'm like, what? I can't do this. I end up raping myself. All
But
right,
the brother and sister one is kind of too strange.
that is very strange.
I
Yeah.
think it's kind of hot, to be honest.
Why? Do you have a sister?
Oh, I have two sisters. but
Oh
it's,
no!
And why do you think this is hot?
Hide your
Because
kids.
it's-
Hide your
I'm gonna leave
wife.
right now. I think I'm gonna get up.
It's so taboo. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's terrible, Joe. You got
No.
to get back to normal. This is what happens when you're 20 years old right now. It's just too much porn,
Yeah.
too much this, too much freedom. This is why they all hate
It's
us.
You know what?
What?
Speaking
What
of
it
that,
is.
Oh, no.
yesterday I popped my porn star cherry.
What do you
Oh.
mean? You banged the porn
Fuck
star?
does that
What do you mean?
You banged the porn star?
He
no,
watched.
I mean I seen a porn star in person at the
Oh.
Haha Cafe.
That's not popping a
For the
porn
first
Not
time.
popping your chair. That means you fuck. Popping your cherry means you fucked her.
Well, I mean, I saw a first porn star in real life.
That's
so
not popping a chair. Listen, you gotta go to the Urban Dictionary and study it, okay? Because or just a regular dictionary.
How have you not seen a porn star yet?
Yeah, I know. You go
How
to
many
Ralph's.
times have you been?
They
at
have
the
that
dime?
porn star karaoke
Yeah, I
too
took you
young
there,
for
right?
that.
in Burbank. You took me to that?
I think
no.
I took you that. No, I took Juliana to that. All right. So anyway, all All right. Well,
Wow.
all right. Well, that was the Joe minute. Okay. Let's get back
That's
to the
all we're
fight.
giving him now?
Yes. That's too much to process. So, Juliana Pena versus
Valentina Shevchenko.
Yeah.
Valentina
Wow.
Shevchenko. My thoughts on this fight are: look, I thought Juliana was doing very well. People are like people hate Juliana. I didn't realize how much Twitter
Really?
and the underground, they don't like her attitude. She says things. She gets a lot of hate. And
What did she get hate for? What did she say?
she's just like, I'm going to beat her into oblivion.
She's been
Yeah,
calling out.
that's-
She's been calling out Ronda for years, talking shit about like. I can
Okay,
beat
but that's how you
anybody.
get fights. And we not seen this with Conor McGregor and anybody that wants
For
to
some
fight.
reason, guys don't seem to like it as much. The fans when girls do it, and I think it's wrong.
I don't
totally
think she's doing anything out of like it's not she's not offending anyone in like a wrong way. She's talking about their fighting. She's not going on and talking about them as a person, or I don't see any of that. Like maybe Ronda a little bit, but that's hard not to.
1,000%. I'm just telling you the view why I think she
That's
gets so much.
ridiculous.
I think one of the things she said that wasn't like good at all, that could be misconstrued, was when she was saying, you know, everybody, I'm getting passed over so many times for title shots. If I don't get a title shot, I'm leaving the UFC.
So who got her on her for that?
Well, a lot of the fans.
people,
You know what?
like, that's how you get title shots now.
They
And
should support her because
Look, you're right. You're absolutely right. I'm just telling you that it seems like she gets a lot of hate, and knowing her personally, I will say Juliana is a really sweet,
I like
cool,
Juliana.
nice, loyal person. Yeah, she has her issues, like beating up bouncers and stuff. Okay, maybe alcohol isn't her friend, but she's cool as shit.
Yeah.
And I think that first round, I didn't give her the first round. The judges did. They gave it to her 10. 2 of the 3 judges gave her 10-9. Second round, she was dominating. She just got caught with 15 seconds left.
Yep.
I don't think people were like, she got outclassed, she got this, she got that. I don't think if people didn't hate her as much, they would not be saying that.
I think they're maybe saying that because she got submitted by someone who's known to be a striker.
Yes.
We're not going to say she's not, because look what she did to Holly. She took her down. She did stuff. You know, she's obviously a well-rounded. I mean, that girl, you can tell is serious, and she's, you know, trains like a maniac. Like I've heard, I don't know, maybe it was heard when I was watching the fight that like her camps are like. Like the gym is her camp. It's not like there's anyone else like that. She's got a coach there all the time, like making sure she's doing. You know what I mean? Like I've never had that kind of attention. Like, can you imagine what you could develop with something like that? So, and you get a girl like her who's just super athletic, super determined. Of course, her jujitsu's like, and that's an armbar. Like, you know, something that probably she learned the beginning of her career. So she's been working on it, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like she got her with some like fancy choke or like Ezekiel choke from the bottom or whatever. I mean, it was...
I talked to Joanna about it. She's in good
She's
spirits.
bummed. Oh, she's good?
She was
Okay.
bummed at first, but I like
It
made her laugh.
happens.
I told her she should just act like she won, and then be like, "Thank you, I carry for my title shot." Just go completely fucking insane. I was giving her some really bad advice.
That'd be
full
hilarious.
trail.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking when
Go
you
full
said that.
chill. But I like her a lot, and I told her to stay ready because this girl could get hurt,
Yeah.
and they're gonna need to give her, and then she's the next in line for the title shot.
Right.
So
Look at that with Misha, you know, like with Kat Zagano got hurt, and there was Misha to do the Ultimate Fighter.
yes, exactly. Look at you with your women's history MMA. I like it. Now, I'll tell you who I was really impressed with was Masvidal.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, the Jake Ellenberg, you know, people are cursed, like, once they fight, like, once people fight Frankie Edgar, it seems like your career goes to shit. Like BJ Penn fought him,
What?
never the same fighter. Gray Maynard, never the same fighter. Who are some other guys that were never? Uriah Faber, I think, lost his next fight after Frankie. Frankie's just one of these dudes that ruins
I don't know.
people.
Cub Swanson's done really well.
But he lost to Holloway after Frankie. So, like, the fight after you fight Frankie is usually like you end up losing it. He takes your soul. I think the opposite is with Jake Ellenberger, because you fight Jake, Robbie fights Jake, he becomes the champion, and then Wonder Boy fights Jake, and then he ends up fighting for the championship, a draw against Woodley. Now Masvidal fights Jake, and he's looking
Cowboy.
better than it beats Cowboy. It's the opposite of what happens with Frankie Edgar is to Jake
It's
Ellenberger
like the Phil
effect.
Davis syndrome.
What do you mean?
Like when guys used to get beat by Phil Davis, then their career skyrocketed. Like Gustafson was one of them.
Oh, yeah.
He got beat early and then just skyrocketed. I think Tim Boach started doing a lot better, and There's a lot of guys like that, but
It's like that movie Good Luck Chuck or whatever, which I never saw.
You have sex
but
with him, and then you try to hook up with him, and then you find your husband.
Yeah, exactly. So Masvidal, I didn't see that coming. It seems like
I did.
He even said, "I was in Cowboy's head."
Yeah.
It seems like the guys that and I'm not saying like anybody could just fucking talk to the Cowboy and beat him, but the guys who like Nate Diaz, Masvidal, the guys, the really alpha male aggressive guys that come forward, end up somehow they out Cowboy.
Well, I'm not going to say a lot here, but I'll say this.
You trained with him?
Well, I trained with him for 4.5 years, and he's a good guy. You know, he's helped out Diego a lot, who I'm still really close with, my ex. And
ex-husband?
Yes.
Diego
And
Brandao.
Diego Brandao, yep.
Go
he
on.
just won his last fight. Did you
that
see
elevator armbar. That was nice. Wearing Reebok.
Yeah. Anyway, so I watched. I'm super impressed by his skill. But there's something I've noticed is it's like his mindset. It's either there or not, because he has a skill really to beat anybody, and that's something that I feel like I'm similar. I'm not saying I can beat everybody, but I have the skill set to beat people that I've lost to, and then it comes down to that mentality. And being in his home in Denver, and that puts added pressure, and all the, just like even if you think about that, back to that jar of energy. So here's Cowboy training for a fight in his hometown. He's going to train hard. He's going to probably overtrain. He's going to train extra. He's going to have this added pressure. I need to train harder. I can't lose in my hometown. And you're actually hurting your psyche when you're doing that. When you're putting that added pressure, because you're basically taking the event and making it bigger than it is.
Yeah.
So that's like the opposite of what you want to do. And I'm not saying he did that, but I'm saying that's a possibility.
That happens with shows too. With comedy, I mean, like I'll do a show in front of 10 people and it'll be the greatest show I've ever done. But then sometimes I'll do a huge show and then one joke bombs. And then you start going, oh, fuck. I just bombed in front of my friends.
Yeah.
They're going to think I suck. There's my ex-girlfriend in the crowd. She moved on. She's probably thinking I did better than me. There's my old agent. He's going to drop me. And then all of a sudden, I just lost $10,000 here. I just lost that money. And the next thing you know, you're not even in the fucking room anymore. Yeah. You're in your head. It happens at auditions. Oh, man, auditions. People are like, how do you make Strangers Left every night, but then you get in front of a room in front of 3 people? I'm like, because it's not my lines. I didn't write it. And then you start overthinking it. And then you start doing way too overtraining.
Yeah, but the thing
You're
with
not
auditions,
relaxed.
it's not about how good you said the line most of the time. It's fucking if you have the right hair color, if you're the right height, right size.
That's
if you
true
match the girl.
That's true to a certain point. But
like
then all of a
fucking
sudden, there's 5 people with the right hair color and the right this and the right that, and then it's who delivered the lines the best, or who was the best actor, who's the best actor in the room. So that's really a lot of it. But you're right.
I disagree.
There's other factors involved as well. But
way more.
Separate.
Because if you watch TV and there's a lot of shitty actors, so it really has nothing to do with your skill.
I disagree with that, but okay, that's a whole separate thing. Welcome to the acting podcast, Adam and Heather Joe Clark, HJC. Now,
I think with Cowboy and Masvidal, and I said this last week, Cowboy's a little bit of a slow starter. I said if Masvidal comes out like he did against Jake, and we haven't seen a Masvidal before the Jake Ellenberger fight. Masvidal has been a very good fighter, but he was never one that, like, he didn't really get finishes, was a lot of decisions, some splits here and there. And I said, if he comes out against Cowboy and he rushes him and he just starts throwing the way that he's been saying he's going to in interviews, he's going to beat him. Did I expect him to beat him the way he did? No. In my opinion, they could have stopped it at the end of the first. Because when Cowboy sat down on that stool and he's looking at Greg's like, look at me. And he's fucking looking around like, where the hell am I? And
I like what Greg Jackson says.
Yeah.
He says, you've been dropped like every fight.
Yeah.
you get dropped every fucking fight.
He's like, you've been dropped before. And then he pauses and he goes, like every fight.
Yeah, Greg would be great, like, as the head of security for, like, the country. All right, they just dropped the bomb on us. No worries, okay?
Find your waterfall.
It's all good.
Breathe.
We also have money. We're all going to live. He is the most calm human being I have ever seen in my life.
It's like when I broke my arm fighting Felice, and John Dodson comes over to him and he goes, all right. I go, I broke my arm. He goes, all right, we'll deal with that later. Now I want you to go out there and hit her with it. I was like, yes, sir. I swear to God,
that was like
what he said to me.
what Jackson told GSP. GSP went back to the corner a while ago.
The groin.
I think I tore my groin. He goes, I don't care, George. Hit him with your groin.
That was funny.
But did you hear on the opposite side of calm coaching, Dwayne Ludwig? Like every time that in between rounds, he's standing there like, "You better fucking throw the right, motherfucker. That's what I like, motherfucker."
Yeah.
I'm like, where did that come from? He's like the nicest, quietest guy normally.
Yeah, that's true. Also on the card, like we said was going to happen, Andre Arlovski got murdered.
Scary dude,
now,
Francis.
I mean,
that guy's huge.
I have never been less confident than a number like 5 guy fighting a number 11 guy. I mean, it was like a minus 400 odds. But they got to stop with this. Like, UFC knew that was going to happen. Everyone. I could have bet my house on that. I don't even have a house. I could have bet someone else's house. But it was ridiculous.
It was a stepping stone fight.
It was, and he hit him. He accidentally knocked him out. He didn't even hit him with the right punch. It was like
it was like half a punch.
He like yawned halfway through and hit him with his arm. But we got to stop that. This Arlovski. Look, you're a great fighter. Go to Ryzen, fight Vanderlei or something. But let's
Vanderlei fighting in Ryzen?
Yeah. What?
No.
No.
He's actually fighting Chael in Bellator this summer.
Is he?
That's
a rumor.
That's what's going around.
So
I think Arlovski needs to just call it.
Yeah, because it's just
no more, dude.
How many times do we want to see
What
this?
about Overeem's fighting again, isn't he?
He's fighting Mark Hunt, UFC
Again?
209.
Overeem, I know.
Just got knocked out.
And then Hunt's going to have like 3 lawyers in his corner to fight over. That's
and a USADA person.
I think he might beat Mark Hunt. I mean, he might beat Overeem.
I think definitely think he's going to beat Overeem.
I don't know.
Wait, who won the first one? It was
Overeem
Hunt,
and
right?
Hunt?
Didn't they win? Didn't they fight before?
Did they fight in K1 maybe? Not. I don't know
Didn't
if
they
fought
fight?
in
Isn't
MMA.
this the second one?
I don't know, but I don't know who wins this fight because Hunt looks so bad against Brock Lesnar, but that's Brock Lesnar's wrestling and roided to the juice to the gill Brock Lesnar. But it might be one of those fights where Overeem hurts him early, goes in for the kill, and then just gets caught, knocked out.
Mark Hunt lost by Americana in Dream back in 2008
to
Overeem.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's an interesting fight.
But yeah, Arlovski needs to quit.
Yeah,
it's time.
I agree, and I was happy for Sam Alvey. That he is the weirdest fighter I've ever seen in my life. He has. I mean, I look at him and I feel ripped. That he just has that dad bod.
It's awesome.
It was weird. His wife came in with brown hair. Normally his wife has red hair.
Purple, purple.
Or purple.
They were he was on the Mexico card.
Really, they're nice people, right?
Very nice.
But Alvey, you got to give him credit. Even there's a guy who, if he didn't have that personality, I think people would not like to watch him fight. Although he does get knockouts, but he's just a weird fighter. But because he's just like goofy redhead who smiles all the time, and he puts a happy face in the back of his hair, and he's got a wife that was on Top Model who also has red hair. You end up you just love Sam Alvey for some reason. There's something very endearing about.
Who did he call out after his fight? He called out some fighter. Was he like?
He called out the guy fighting Rashad Evans. Dan Kelly, who's like a 40-year-old Olympian, 2-time Olympian from judo.
Is that a smart call out? Don't you want to call somebody like the top 2?
It's a smart call out if they fight in Australia because the guy's going to headline probably the Australia card or be one of the top 2 or 3. Mm-hmm. It's not a small call out for Albany because no one knows who Dan Judo is in Albany or even Sam Alvey. It's a weird call out, but it's also not really what's he ranked? Is he even ranked, Dan Kelly?
Dan Kelly, he might have just cracked top 15.
It is a strange call out.
Yeah.
I love it when guys call out the champs and they're like not ranked. Those are my favorite call outs. There's nothing to lose call outs.
Right.
Did you feel like Alvey was a little tentative though? Because he seemed like he got Marquardt against the fence a few times and had perfect range so that heavy left, and he just kind of let him circle and just started over. It seemed a little bit weird for him.
I think he also, after the fight, he goes, "This is a legend of the sport." I think he really respected, and I think he saw what Marquardt did to Tamden and was like, listen, this guy still has ridiculous power and can still knock you out.
And then people were saying Marquardt looked one of the worst performances of his career. And
I think Sam Alvey just does that to people. Like, who's ever looked good against Sam Alvey other than Derek Brunson, who just went in there and just
even
ran.
Elias
Right.
It was a weird
He's strange
fight.
because he's a counterpuncher, but he's goofy, and then he
Which
could hurt
one?
you.
Elias or Sam?
Both Sam's.
Yeah.
Sam's just a goofy fighter, but it's effective.
I mean, he was starching dudes like a few fights ago. Just one punch, it was just
people were
ow.
underestimating his power. I also that other guy, the rapper, the black belt rapper. He's in Bellator now. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I don't
the guy who
remember.
Sam knocked out. You know what I'm talking about. The black belt. He was on the Ultimate Fighter. He did a rap album with Spencer Pratt. no retreat. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking
He just
about. I
fought the
can't
guy dating the
think of the
porn
fucking
star
name.
and fucking whatever. Anyway, that guy is like always gonna end up. He fights so dumb, that guy, but he's a good fighter, but he just doesn't fight smart.
Kevin Casey.
Kevin Casey, yeah.
I'm like, the rapper is not helping me.
Kevin Casey, a rapper?
Yeah.
Oh.
I talked to him. He said he has new music coming out too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He really does.
I didn't watch his last fight with Keith.
Keith, it was a good fight. I thought Kevin got robbed. A lot of people thought Kevin got robbed.
Okay.
Keith did not look good after that fight. Back at the hotel, he looked beat up. His face was jacked.
Yeah, but he gets to bang Nicole Aniston. So like, that dude has fucked every dirty Orange County chick.
Who?
Keith.
Oh.
My God, Keith Berry. I mean,
Who's he with now?
Nicole Aniston, who's
that?
is just a hot porn star.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, beautiful and seems cool, and a big weed smoker, but fit. But yeah, Keith Berry, that dude's dick should be like, they should do like a, how they should have a fucking Muslim ban. They should have a fucking Keith Berry dick ban because that thing has more diseases on it.
Oh, God.
But I don't know if it does, but I'm sure. Anyway, so. By the way, Jake Ellenberger today is helping me coach wrestling.
Oh,
he's
sweet.
coming with me
Nice.
to Paul Revere Middle School.
Are there any fences?
Well, yeah, that's funny. I know they're all gonna Google him afterwards and see his fucking. But so it's funny though. Like on Monday we had practice and the other coach didn't show up. He couldn't make it. So of course I gotta run practice with 20 kids. And I'm tired, but whatever.
20 kids?
20 kids. You want to come help coach team today?
But don't you already have Jake?
You can come too. What are you doing?
I'm not sure.
We have a girl on the team.
Well, not today. I'll come another day.
This is the last practice of the year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have our tournament Saturday.
Is it really? It's the last practice?
Yeah. You coming?
No, I can't.
Why?
I'm getting tattooed.
What
I think
time?
that last time.
I got 4 fucking... I've
What
done
time's the thing?
It's at 3:15.
3 sessions in the last 4 days. I got my last session
Oh yeah,
today.
you got more color on you, right?
Yeah, I'm redoing my whole arm. We got to do the inside and the back today.
By the way, Heather, if you don't know, CB has 6 Conor McGregor tattoos.
I do.
Yes. What did you think of Conor's interview? Did you watch
I
it?
haven't. So they just released the footage of the whole thing in its
You didn't
entirety.
order it?
It was on the same time as the fucking fights.
You have more than one TV.
Not at my parents' house. I can't fucking do it at the same
I
time.
can't believe the guy with 6 tattoos didn't
I wanted to see the whole thing. They just released the whole thing either last night or this morning.
I'm like,
I'm
what?
gonna watch the whole thing.
What?
I'm
That's
gonna
a
watch
little-
the whole thing. In
I
its
heard he said fuck
entirety.
the UFC, fuck WWE.
That was on Instagram. No, not fuck. He said fuck the pussies in the WWE, but and people can tell me, oh, this is a fucking given. But Conor McGregor, WrestleMania 33 this year, he'll be there.
You know that for a fact?
I'm pretty certain.
Do you have his flight number?
No,
No?
I wish.
He's not fighting McGregor. I mean, he's not
Mayweather?
fighting Mayweather.
That'd be
I don't. People are telling me now. The more people I talk to are saying it's going to happen.
If it does, he said it's the end of this year or early next year, not before.
He's going to get murked. But then I'm like, you
Yeah.
know what? Mayweather will be 41. I still think he'll get murked.
Dana's not happy.
At the same time, look, if he loses, so what? He lost to.
Yeah, it's not a
Right,
big
right,
deal
right,
if you
right.
go to
And
somebody
you know,
else's
it's
sport.
money. You know,
if he gets $50 million, he's like, he's set, not only set for life, his whole family's set.
He's already set.
So who's
everybody's
going to
set.
win, Chris Brown or Soldier Boy?
Chris Brown's going to kill him. Chris
Yeah?
Brown's really boxed before.
Oh.
Soldier Boy's going to get killed. It's going to be
Wait, which one's working? Soldier Boy's working with Tyson?
Chris Brown
Or
working with Tyson.
Oh,
Soldier
Chris
Boy's
Brown's
working with
working with
Mayweather.
Tyson. Oh, Mayweather, okay.
But I don't. Yeah, it's not even going to be close. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen?
It was supposed to happen in Vegas. Now they're saying Abu Dhabi or something. So it's not going to happen.
I'm going to
Dubai.
try to get a celebrity fight going.
What do you mean?
So
You're going
stay
to fight a
tuned.
celebrity?
No, maybe, but no. Like I'm gonna get
You versus Adam Hunter.
No. So no, not me as fighter. I'm gonna actually promote an event that I'm trying to do. My hairdresser, his name's Claude Baruch in Vegas. He
Yeah.
owns. So Steve Wynn brought him from France, and so like his salons in the Wynn and the Encore, it's called Claude Baruch Salon. Like he's the fucking guy,
Right.
And he trains with Michael Costa, the shootbox guy.
Okay.
He's badass, and he's like a couple years older than me. I think he's like 38, but he wants to fight. But he's like, you can wear like headgear and shin pads, and I'm like, well, not really, and like tough enough, you can't.
The hairdresser
But-
wants to fight?
yeah, so I was like, why don't we do like a charity event, and I'll get another celebrity to fight you.
He's not really a celebrity, though.
Well, I mean, we could get somebody.
I'm not fighting I'm not losing to a hairdresser.
Well, that would be awesome. You want to do it, Adam?
I got
and
6 more months of ACL
I'm thinking maybe we can
If he
try.
wins, maybe you can fix your hairline.
And we could
wow.
talk to maybe Demi Lovato.
Thank you. Go on.
And see
Yeah.
if she wants to maybe do one, and she could wear like headgear.
I'll fight Demi Lovato. All right, go on.
You know what I mean?
I don't know
See,
if I can beat her at this point. Go on.
and do it at like a gym or something, and just have like $100 or $200 tickets, so it's like super high. You know, a lot of people, but ticket, and then it all goes to charity.
You really?
Yeah,
No, you really thought about this.
yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Now you moved. You
know a
recently
guy.
switched gyms.
Well, no, I still Extreme Couture is still my gym. That's still where, but Benny the Jet, who's my original sensei, is out here, so I'm going to be working with him a little bit.
He's a
and-
karate guy mostly, right?
No, he's karate, kickboxing, boxing, and he did MMA. He was actually like on this team that Elvis Presley put together. People don't know about this, and he flew this team of MMA guys around the world, and they fought no holds barred. Like they fought
Elvis
no
there?
weight classes. What?
And Elvis was there watching
Elvis
this?
was there. Yeah, he was there. He had like a real. I know people don't know. It's ridiculous.
Is this true, CB?
I don't fucking know.
Ask Benny.
Oh,
Get
my
Benny on the show.
God.
You got to have Benny on the show.
I'll have Benny on the show.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's got stories. You would just
By the way, before the show, right? So Heather named her dog Benny, right? So
After him?
After Benny. So she said, but I forgot her dog name was Benny. So she goes, I was going to bring Benny to the podcast. I'm like, oh, you should have. He goes, but you have cats, and I was afraid Benny was going to chase all the cats. I'm like, that's normal. And then she's like, what do you mean? I said, he's a dog. I'm like, oh, I thought you meant your karate instructor was going around the whole time chasing my cats. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? That's what I really
Joe's
thought.
the only one that comes over and chases pussy.
Oh wow, that wasn't bad. Have you been practicing? What's going on? Are you thinking about making a comeback?
I've had a few days off.
Nice. All right.
The one thing I don't understand, speaking of random fights, Bobby Gunn and Roy Jones Jr.
Tomorrow, by the way, we have Frank Trigg on the show. Is in studio. Frank Trigg's coming in, and I'm working on it, but I'm pretty sure we have Bobby Gunn calling in, who's fighting bare knuckle.
Listen here, boys.
Bare knuckle against Roy Jones Jr.
Is it bare knuckle? I thought it was regular boxing.
No, it's bare knuckle.
And Shannon Rich is on that
And
card?
Shannon Rich also bare knuckle
no.
in Florida, February 18th, right? That's February.
I don't remember the day.
Yeah. So bare knuckle
That's
boxing.
the same day as Fedor's fight. That's a terrible idea. What they do, they're marketing from fucking WSOF?
I don't know. So, by the way, I figured out why that's happening. Because I talked to somebody, and they said WSOF has timeshares on NBC Sports. They buy timeshares. So they don't. It's one of those things where they pay to show it. Or something happens, which is probably why they get the worst times. Because that's probably the cheapest timeshare, is against the Super Bowl, New Year's Eve.
I'm telling you.
So that's my theory. I don't know if it's true.
I think Marlon Mariah's left, by the way. I think he's gone. Because their new poster for the Sean Jordan Ivanov fight says crowning a new bantamweight champ.
Oh, wow.
So I think Marias is getting in the UFC, and I think he's going to fight Jimmy Rivera for his debut.
Wow. Nice.
It's a fucking war.
So, by the way, something happened funny. So anyway, practice on Monday, right? So it was a good practice. So my assistant coach is this guy Brian Swinehart, this comedian who opens for me.
Really?
Yeah. And I love Brian, but he's like total pothead, unemployed. Well, he like does extra work, and he got like 5 roommates and like lives in a studio. So it's like the final. Heather, you like this. Listen up.
I'm
So
listening.
it's like the final 2 minutes of practice, 30 seconds of practice. I'm like, all right, guys, last match, overtime. Like, if you win, you get the money, the college scholarship, the girlfriend. If you lose, you're a broke, unemployed comedian with 6 roommates, and you do extra work. And no one knew what I was. Brian's like, hey, wait, that's my life. So that was
That's
pretty
hilarious.
And then afterwards, this one kid, of course, this little kid, cute kid, 6th grade. He has like the mentality of a 70-year-old, but he's like, 90 pounds and just like out of shape. But he's a good kid. But his parents were late, so I had to wait with him till his mom came, and I'm waiting at the middle school with him. And I'm like, so do you like school? He's like, nah, I was 30 minutes late yesterday, and then my teacher gave me an hour lesson on how I'm going nowhere in life. And so he was like bitching to me about that.
This is what education's turned into.
So I go, do you have a girlfriend? He goes, nah, he's in 6th grade. He goes, man, there are no hot girls in my grade, and I'm not going to let some average chick boss me around.
Yeah.
This is what this little 6th grader told me. I was like,
It's
I
awesome.
turned around and laughed for like 20 minutes. I thought that
A
was
peek into what happens at his house.
yeah, well, I was,
His mother runs the show.
oh man, I couldn't believe he said that. I was average chick. There are no hot chicks in 6th grade, and I'm not going to let an average chick boss me around.
But you do have like the luckiest wrestling team to have like actual MMA fighters come and coach them.
Oh yeah, I know. Except what happened? Like one year, I like brought Mayhem. Right before this is back when Mayhem was like on Bully Beatdown, and like all the kids were so excited
Still
to see
a
him.
terrible decision.
And then like a year later, he like gets arrested for being naked. And meanwhile, I had him like talk to the kids and meet all the parents. I'm like, these parents feel like is this the guy that like
Just tell him no. Just deny.
yeah, I was like,
You're
Different
like,
man, Miller.
yeah, different Mayhem. But it was funny though, and then something else happened that was funny. So. I missed a couple matches this year because of road gigs. So I have another coach that fills in, Aljamain, actually Junior, a really good coach.
Junior Amazon. Good guy.
But this little kid on my team is like, "Are you gonna come to the tournament this Saturday?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be there." He's like, "Well, you be like missed the last two." I'm like, "Well, dude, I had to work and make a living." And then he goes, "Whatever, man. I'm just saying you expect us to be there, but our coach doesn't show up." And I was very upset about this. I go, "You sound like my girlfriend." I was like, "Jesus!" Like, I told my girlfriend.
Did you win?
I told my
Did he
girlfriend. I
win?
told it what?
Did he win the last two that you missed?
No.
Then he shouldn't be able to talk shit.
His kid's like giving me the biggest guilt trip. I mean, he really was like my girl asked me if I'm on the road all the time. Is this how it's always going to be? I'm like, I had flashbacks. I'm like, Jesus, I was getting bitched. And he was kind of right, too. Like, that was the bad part is that I really have missed this. But, I mean, I'm headlining in, Minnesota. What am I supposed to do?
It's like that movie Hardball where Keanu Reeves just doesn't show up to practice. And they're like, where the fuck were you? We were here.
It really, I mean, I got bitched out by a 12-year-old for like 20 minutes, and he was kind of right. It was bad. So anyway, the fights this week, UFC fights this week. By the way, did you watch the Bellator fights last week?
No.
I didn't either, but I heard Chitty won.
Chitty did
Yeah, I
win.
watched that fight.
How was it?
Dominated.
He dominated him.
I think one judge gave him all three 10-8 rounds.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was. I think the lowest. I think
really
the highest
weird.
score was 30-26.
It was really weird. I used to train Melvin too, and he just broke him. It just kind of like
It was
he
a
just
huge size difference too, though.
Yeah.
Where's Melvin training now?
Florida, I think. No, or was he in?
He's always switching
Colorado?
camps, that dude.
I don't know.
There's a guy, man. Like, do you think out of all the people you've trained with, Melvin Gillard had the most potential and lived up to it the least? I'm sorry to say
Yeah.
that because he did make the UFC and he made the highest level of professional fighting,
He's
but
fucking fought so many times. That guy taught me a move in. And a week later, I used that move to win a fight. The one I actually put the girl to sleep.
what move?
It's when someone shoots a single leg on their heads on the outside. You just kind of like wrap your hand and then throw this leg over there and take their back.
Was that the Sarah Alpar fight that you
Yeah.
put her to sleep?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. Wow.
Nice. What color was your underwear for that? All right,
By the
so
way, did you know Hendricks started his own camp? It's Johnny Hendricks MMA.
really?
Yeah, we've been talking about this.
No scales.
He said he's never going to fight at 170 again. He's not even going to try.
I feel
he
really-
may not wake up after this Lombard fight.
Yeah,
though.
I don't know though. I mean, if Hendricks gets out of round 2, you could see Hendricks winning.
That's a long 1 and 2.
But he's Wonder Boy hurt him.
Wonder Boy
Finished him, but he hasn't really been hurt that often in his career, like where he's been really hurt. I mean, has he ever been stopped other than by Wonder Boy? No.
I don't think
So maybe the guy obviously
Kelvin
can,
didn't finish
he
him, he
obviously
just
can take a
dominated.
punch, and he's not fighting at 170. That fight against Wonder Boy, he came in like that week at 170. It was a terrible.
I know we were
fight.
talking about that because of the nutritionist and
Yeah.
I was there. That was fucking. I was like,
What do you mean
I
he came in at
never
170?
saw that.
Like usually he either misses weight or he does a drastic weight cut where he loses like 15 pounds the week of the fight or 20 pounds.
he came in 3 pounds over. When
But he came in at
was
Monday
really low.
at 173 and looked ripped. But for a guy, which is one thing if you're doing that your whole career, but he looked really weak, ineffective, slow. It was like good weight cut for bodybuilding.
Yeah.
It's
Bad-
almost like he started himself.
Bad weight cut for MMA.
My last fight I woke up at 120 and I was like eating all week and everything. This is the leanest I've ever been. And then I asked Grosso's dad, the Sacramento fights, how much did she put on, the night of the fight? He said 8 kilos.
Which is how many pounds?
I was like 18 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, something like that.
Did you feel it in the?
I didn't. I didn't notice it, but again, like all my attention was like on my eye, but I didn't feel like I didn't feel her being stronger than me.
How did the altitude affect you?
I didn't feel the altitude. Honestly, no, I never hit like something my psychologist was talking to me about, the sports psychologist saying like, be ready for that wall. You're probably going to hit a wall. Everyone does, but just expect it and know that you're good. And I never felt it. But you know what I did?
Because you're high all the time, that the altitude didn't affect you?
No. Do you know how what I did to prepare for that?
What's that?
I literally spent every dollar I had. I moved to Albuquerque for a month. I stayed in a cabin at 7,600 feet. So it was like a 30-minute drive up to this awesome cabin, no shower, only had a bath. And like stayed up there for a month, and then I would drive down and train at 5,500, and then I would,
Is that Jackson's?
No, I was at Chris Luttrell's gym. It's like Chris Luttrell and Ray Yee's gym.
Is that with Borg, Ray Borg, and those guys?
I don't know who Ray Borg is.
Or who trains there?
Well, Claudia Gardella was training there, so she was like my main. Yeah, she's pretty. She was like my main partner, and then there was a couple other guys I brought from Jackson's to come help me that I used to train with, Ray Martinez, and there was some other amateur guys that were really great, and like one guy's a boxer.
If you were a lesbian, right? Would you go for Claudia?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You think
beautiful.
she's like the hottest chick you've ever trained with?
No.
Who?
That I've ever trained with?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, Michelle and Holly are beautiful, and
Well, Michelle's really hot. Holly's
you don't
pretty.
think, I think
not my
Holly's
type.
beautiful. Okay.
But she's pretty.
Yeah.
Attractive girl.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't kick her out of bed. She kicked me out of bed.
Cheyenne, the girl I train with right now, and what's it called? And at Extreme, she's an amateur girl. She's really pretty. Misha's really pretty. I mean, a lot of girls.
Nice.
Yeah.
So this week, Dennis Bermudez versus the Korean Zombie. It's going to be Friday UFC Fight Night, Saturday, February 4th.
Why hasn't he fought in a couple of years?
He was in the Korean Army, and you have to do time, and he had to serve his time, which is so ridiculous because, I mean, I understand, but I think professional athletes in Korea, there's so little of them. He's like one of the only guys in the UFC, and he's the best one.
And Doo-Ho Choi now.
Doo-Ho Choi. But let these guys... It's probably better for your country and morale and the army if they let them fight. But I guess they have to do service. Then again, we're not next to South Korea. I've been to North Korea. I've been to South Korea, and I've been on the border of North and South Korea, like where the military is, and it's not a fun place to be. But Dennis Bermudez, Kim Jong. I got Bermudez all day.
Kim Jong.
Or not Kim Jong.
Song Jong.
Korean Zombie. I think Bermudez all day is going to beat Kim Jong because
what is his name?
No, Kim Jong is the dictator.
I know, but
Zombie's real name?
Yeah.
Chan Sung Jung.
Chan Sung Jung. Bermudez, based on inactivity. I just think that Bermudez has been around, been fighting for so long. This guy hasn't fought since 2004. Heather.
Yeah, I think Bermudez has got it. I really, been watching his career since Diego beat him on the Ultimate Fighter to win the show or whatever, and I thought he was awesome. I mean, obviously he got to that point and dropped Diego in the fight. In fact,
Now you married Diego. He didn't come across very well in the Ultimate Fighter.
What?
He came across like a psychopath. Let's be honest.
Okay, well he's not a psychopath. He's a little bit temperamental,
yes,
as most Brazilians are, and yeah, I mean he's learned a lot and he's grown a lot, and I think that he's learned a really this recent thing that got him out of the UFC. He realized a lot from that, and he was like he got in a fight with some guys at a strip club, and they apparently kind of jumped him a little bit, so he went out to his car to get his gun. And then he came back and pointed it at the security guards, and they wouldn't let him in. And so he hit one of them with it. And Yeah, so then he turned himself in, and then he got a good lawyer, and he somehow got off. So he's completely, exempt from all of it, and now he just fought in Russia. And
Are you thinking about getting back together with him or no?
No, we're just good friends. He's like family to me now. Like he really, we just try to be good friends and be there for each other. I don't think there's a lot of people out there that really have each other's back, and you could say. And like my dad kind of adopted him because he doesn't have a dad, and
nice.
So they just So
well, I don't mean to say that he sounded like he came across.
He's crazy, but look what he did, and look, he's not just a Vanderlei Silva where he goes out there and brawls. Like he does brawl, but he has amazing skill too.
I thought when on Ultimate Fighter, I didn't think he was going to lose for a long time. Then Darren Elkins beat him, I believe.
Yeah,
and
Connor beat him,
and then Connor.
Yeah, well, he was going through a lot of shit.
Yeah, I heard he was living in his car before that fight.
Yeah, there was a lot of shit going on.
And they basically called him up and they hey, you're homeless, fight Connor.
Yeah.
How are you going to say no?
Yeah, so...
He's super good to his fans, too. Like, he's really, really a good dude.
Diego?
Yeah.
Have you ever graphed him?
Several times. It was one of the more exciting, first meets.
Nice.
That I've had, but he was always really, really cool.
All right.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's got a good heart. He's really funny, and...
Do you guys have a big wedding or no?
No. We were just in the courthouse or whatever.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Now your last boyfriend was 11. He was a little younger. Very nice guy. I met him. He came to my shows. We actually text back and forth a lot. He's a great wrestler. He tried out for the Olympic team, almost made it.
He hasn't made it yet, but he'll make it. He's in the development team now, and cool enough, he just got hired from the Olympic Committee to be their strength conditioning coach for the USA Wrestling.
Now, he was young though. He's 17,
26.
26. Okay, 26, and you're 43. 36. Okay, so you're 36.
43.
He's 26.
No,
now, but that was sort of why it didn't work, right? You had to teach him things, and to do his laundry. So is that what happened?
I did well. I shouldn't say nothing.
No.
Of course, there's there's things that are going to be. There's obviously an age difference, and there's things that he's learned differently, and I think, gosh, I can't. All guys that I've been with of all ages, I got to teach them something, and of course, guys are just.
Did you guys have role play where he was you were the teacher and he got a bad grade or something?
No.
This seems like it'd be fun.
Do you ever want to do brother and sister role playing?
Oh my gosh.
No, like stepmom porn. Okay. Listen, no, that's
Stepmom porn. I can't even imagine. You said that, and I didn't even understand. I didn't even comprehend that. That's just awful.
It's a big thing on if you go to UJIS or Eskimo Tube.
Oh yeah,
Eskimo Tube.
Eskimo
Are
Tube.
you making this shit
No,
up?
it's a real porn.
Are you
site.
serious?
It's Eskimo Tube.
And Joe's gonna fucking go search it all.
It's not
he's
that
gonna
good,
see all the
actually.
videos by tomorrow.
X Hamster is way better, but there's a whole category of
X hamster.
X Hamster.
Why is it called X hamster?
I don't know. I didn't name it, but there's a lot. There's a whole category.
It's like an animal thing.
No, there's no animals.
It's Richard Gere shoving a gerbil up his ass.
God, that's a horrible thought.
But anyway, all right. Felice, two girls you fought are fighting. Alexis Grasso, Felice Herrig.
I think Alexis going to beat her. I think she's how she's going to beat her. I think it's going to be either a decision or I don't know. I don't know if Alexa, she's got the power maybe to take Felice, but I don't know. Felice is pretty tough, man. That girl can take a hit.
Yeah, she got that big Leno chin.
Big jaw. Yeah. From who knows why, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I what?
No, go on.
I mean, like that. Okay. Yeah, so I think she's gonna win. I really think Alexa's a really good athlete, and it was, I can't say it wasn't hard to see on the UFC Snapchat, seeing her signing co-main event posters with her picture on it, and thinking, gosh, that it should be me. But
that first fight you had with her was brutal. I think it was in Bellator.
I'm not talking about Felice. I was talking about Grasso. But yeah, Bellator. And it was a 10-8 round. The first
afterwards, she yelled at you in your face,
and I backhanded her with my broken arm.
That was crazy.
Yeah,
that was one of the weirdest and worst ends to a fight.
Is there video?
Yeah.
Is there video somewhere of
yeah.
just slapping the shit out of her?
No, she.
Oh yeah, you can watch me backhand her. I mean,
she's
I don't
on
know
top.
If there's a GIF.
She's on top somehow.
I'll show you a picture.
It was a weird scramble. She ended up on top, and then just starts yelling and cursing.
She got up and yelled right here in front of my face. because I was in her guard when the bell rang, and then she got up and like squatted and yelled right in front of my face. So I'm on my knees, and like I just backhand her with my right hand. I'll show you a picture.
Kind of like Jake Shields, Husamor Paul Harris.
It was way worse. And
it was worse than that?
It was. I'll tell you why it was worse, because it came across so amateurish.
Yeah.
It came across like a world star fight.
Yeah.
And you know, and you have two amazing athletes. You have two prime fighters. You have two, great women. And it was really bad sportsmanship. And it came across really, really.
And then she apologizes, and then after she apologizes, she starts posting photos of it. And when Beck did it to somebody, and then they're like laughing about it. I'm like, how are you going to apologize and then keep promoting that you did that?
Yeah, it wasn't cool. I didn't like it.
That was my arm that. And happened in the second.
Shit.
Wow, how did you break it out? How'd that happen?
Overhand right. I overshot it, and her head hit my arm.
It's a clean break.
By the way,
Did you hear it click when you were like?
Yeah, I
when you
could
kept
feel
going,
it.
you
Yeah,
just,
yeah. We ended up kind of like against a fence, and I could feel like I had my wrist literally like felt like it could turn 360. So I had no use of it, and I still tried to hit her with it, right? 'Cause like John told me to do.
John
and
Jones?
No, John Dotson was my corner for the fight.
Well, she's trained with John Jones. Yeah.
But she said Dawson.
But this is so she had me in one arm rear naked, and my right hand was broken. See, I couldn't even like try to pull it off or do it. It was just hanging there. My dad's like, "Why is she not using her arm?" And John's like, "I don't know."
Fucking shattered.
He didn't want to tell my dad because my dad probably would have stopped the fight.
Fuck. You got heart, Heather.
Because I even remember when Chuck fought Rich Franklin. Rich Franklin was like, I took a kick on the forearm, and then every time I moved my arm, I could hear it click, click, click. I'm like, I couldn't even fucking imagine.
I know. One time I beat off 3 times in a row, and I couldn't move my arm at all. All right, go on.
No, I don't need to talk about
And that was just the first 20 minutes of the fight.
I used to be able to, honestly, like, back in my day, I could go 2 or 3 times a day. Now I'm like, I'm
jerking off or having sex?
both. But now, like, even now, like with my girl, like after sex, she'll be like, "Let's go again." I'm like, "Give me a week."
Give me a week.
It's just not.
Make
the
me a
same.
sandwich. Let me watch like.
No, it's bad, man. I used to be able to go over and over. Thanks for making a phone call during the middle of the podcast.
I'm not
by the
making
way.
a phone call.
All right, so Abel Trujillo is fighting. About who I think's gonna win. I like Felice. She's a friend of mine. But I do think that sometimes she becomes a little bit of a bully in her fights, where if she can get the upper hand, she's going to dominate you and fuck you up. But if she's losing, she wants out of it. And that kind of happened with Randa, kind of happened with Paige.
Right.
It's sort of like...
But she came back after the fight with me, like in the first round, I had her. You know, and then the second, like I was beat, and then I broke my arm, and it was like she came back in that third. But again, even in my fight on the show, which I tore my ACL a week before, like, she fought, she came.
Yeah, well, with you, it's like she fought different against you than most people. But it seems like even her last fight
hurt both times,
but
like really hurt.
But if she doesn't get you out early, sometimes she has trouble. That's why I believe Grasslow's going to win this, but I'm going to be rooting for Felice. Abel Trujillo versus James Vick. Good fight here.
Last minute switch.
What happened?
Abel was supposed to fight Evan Dunham. James Vick was supposed to fight Johnny Chase. Both those guys dropped out, so they said, fuck it, put them together.
Who wins this fight? This is tough because Vick was a pro boxer. He suffered his first defeat recently against Benny. Benny outstruck him, which was crazy. Abel Trujillo, I thought was going to be a beast, and he still is a beast. But I thought he was going to I forgot who he beat. He beat somebody. He was killing people, and then Khabib got him, and Khabib just schooled him.
That's like
I know, but he never really. It's weird. He's kind of a strange fighter.
His fight against Varner was like one of the craziest shits I've ever seen.
Right, but he's on a 3-fight win streak. Okay, he fought Jordan Rinaldi. He beat Tony Sims. He beat T-Bow. Before that, his last loss was to Tony Ferguson in 2014 by submission, which we know how good Tony is. Before that, he beat Varner and he beat Roger Bowling, and then so he's won 5 out of 6. And James Vick's coming off a loss to fucking
Benny.
Who wins this fight, CB?
I think Abel. I think if Abel comes out, watching the Benny James Vick fight, I did not think Benny by knockout. I thought wrestle him down, submission, something like that. The way that Benny was striking with Vick, I think if Abel comes forward, backs him up against the cage, and just starts throwing, he definitely has way more power than Beneil. And I think Abel can get the knockout. And I'm going with Abel Trujillo, even
Heather?
though my Black Zillions is disbanded.
Heather?
I don't really know them too well. Like, I don't think I saw their last fights.
I'll tell you one thing though. I was sitting next to James Vick's girlfriend, who at a fight one time, and this chick must have been like, she was wearing like that like stripper dress, smoking hot, and she was yelling. The whole place could hear her yell.
Was it 199?
It was
when he
in
fought
Vegas.
Beneil? Oh,
No, it was in Vegas. And everyone's like, who the fuck is that chick screaming? And then it's like her boyfriend, so no one said anything, you know? But I don't know about how I just want to tell a story. All right, so OSP versus Volkan Ozdemir.
I don't know Volkan.
Volkan, that's
Ozdemir.
badass.
Who's Volkan? TV?
He's a last-minute replacement because Jan Blachowicz was supposed to fight OSP. I don't know much about him. I know OSP is a tough dude, and he's coming off some unfortunate circumstance against Jones and Manua. I think OSP returns and gets the win.
That guy's a ogre, man.
Who?
OSP.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why, like, I talked to John after that fight, and I was like, he took everything. Like, he would just like pop back up. Like, he was just
And
like,
what did John say about it?
He just laughed when I said that, because he kind of was like, yeah.
Did you say he snorted coke? Is that
I
what he
didn't
did?
say anything.
You're such an instigator, CB.
No.
Such an instigator.
He's sober.
He's sober? Not like today, or he's sober?
I don't know.
I mean,
Told me
now
he's sober.
No, I've heard you were in that camp, and some people in the camp that I've talked to, pro fighters, can't stand him. They say he's too good for everybody. He doesn't fuck with some of the lighter guys. He gets mad at people.
Well, I've never sparred with him. I mean, I've never like literally sparred with him, obviously. So I don't know. I mean, I have a different.
Other people say he's a great
friendship
teammate.
with him.
He's a great teammate.
Yeah, he was
nice
a good
guy.
teammate to me.
Now, but were you around I guess for one of his fights, he came in, I think for the Gustafsson fight, he comes in on Molly, like the week of the fight, in camp, and then with like two crazy chicks, and
He said he was drinking all week.
Were you around during that?
I don't think so.
Oh.
That was,
I don't remember that. No, I mean, but again, more power to him for like, if he could party and still win fights like that. Like, obviously that fight was a close fight, and so he probably learned his lesson. But this is what people do. People, celebrities or actors, or I mean, they go out and they get drunk and they do all that stuff and they get in trouble, and I mean, it's just kind of what people do. And if,
Heather, we're talking about the greatest
I know,
fighter
I'm not
of all
saying he
time.
should do
Has
it.
now fucked up his prime and is suspended.
he's not. I think his prime is still yet to come.
Maybe, but we don't know because he's suspended for.
He's coming back in July.
Okay, but this dude.
He's
you-
learned
you
his
have to
lesson.
admit-
I think he's learned his lesson. He's had a few strikes. Yes. Okay. I think that people
Hitting a pregnant chick and fleeing the accident, coming back for your weed, and then fucking leaving again.
It's not right. I'm not claiming that it's a good thing to do. I wouldn't do that. I mean,
But he's human. People make
he's
mistakes.
human, and people make mistakes. I think it's a great story. I think it just shows how you can,
It's the Bobby
you
Brown
can really
story.
lose yourself
Yeah.
to drugs and alcohol, like many people.
Yeah.
A majority of the population has been addicted to a drug or alcohol in their life. The majority of people.
No,
in
that's
this
not
world.
true.
What?
Majority of
People have at one point been addicted to either alcohol or drugs in their life.
I don't think that's a true stat.
I think it is.
No, I don't think
Everyone I know.
But you're a
But you're
fighter
gonna
and an
sit-
actor. Most people in certain industries. But I would say, I don't think a majority of Americans have been addicted to drugs or alcohol. I don't think that's true.
If
I
you
think
count
people won't
prescription
admit.
drugs.
I don't think people
I don't think
admit
that's
that they're
either.
addicted to alcohol, but they are, because they drink every weekend or they
You
drink
can't-
every night.
the people that don't admit it. You're right. Is there an epidemic? Absolutely. Is it a problem? Sure. I don't think it's a majority of people.
Okay,
but
well,
I think it's too many.
Everybody's
people.
been through stuff. People
Yes.
make stupid decisions,
And people deserve second chances.
they
And I'm a
can come
John
back.
Jones fan.
Yeah.
And I think he's robbing himself, the fans, everybody else. And I'm sure he would say the same thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe he wouldn't, and that'd be the whatever. I understand it. I get it. Anthony Hamilton is fighting Mike Marcel Fortuna.
Anthony, I'm all day. I train with him as well. He's
Really?
an awesome guy.
At a stream or
At Jackson's.
At
He's at
Jackson's.
Jackson's.
Yeah, he lost his last fight by Kimura to Francis
But he
Ngannou.
knocked out the guy before that, right?
He's either he knocks people out or he gets knocked out or he loses.
Well, that's heavyweight, man.
Right. That's true. That's Heather. Yes, that's true. Not you're heavyweight, but that's absolutely true. But I do.
Like, what?
One of his greatest knockouts I've ever seen was that he knocked out Smolino, my buddy Smolino, in I believe it was a Canadian card. Back the now defunct EFC or EFX or EXC. It was a crazy fucking knockout. Angela Hill, Jessica Andrade. Man. Who do I?
That's this weekend?
Jessica for sure.
Yeah.
That's this weekend?
Yes.
Jessica's going to overpower her. Angela's a good striker. And I'm sure she's been working on her jiu-jitsu with Jessica and everything. But I just think that Jessica's going to dominate.
I mean, they are really throwing this girl to the wolves. I mean, she was an Invicta last time. I mean,
well, I know because she got Tisha and she got. Who was it before Rose, right? In the UFC.
In the UFC, and then she goes to Invicta.
Yeah, but she got Emily first.
Okay, but then Emily's not good?
What?
Okay, but I'm saying they're really throwing her to the wolves.
Did you not see that fight?
Look, I'll tell you one thing. I was at the Jessica Andrade fight against Jessica Penne, and she beat the shit out of Penne.
Exactly.
And Penne's a good fighter. Great fighter.
What about the JoJo fight?
And then the JoJo
fucking
fight.
murdered her.
So now they're throwing in Angela Hill, like, fuck.
And Angela thinks she can beat her.
I hope she can beat her. You don't like Angela? Oh, she was one of the bullies on the show?
She was one of the
Mean girls?
Yeah, the mean girls.
She was the one farting in the house all the time.
Oh, yeah,
She
she's
doesn't
the
like her.
worst.
She's stinky.
But you know what? I got her a couple times off camera.
What'd you do?
I farted back on her.
Really?
I've dusted the shit out of her.
Like loud ones or like small
But I'm not one to do that in public. Like I'm not one to do it in front of people. So I would get her when nobody else is around.
Now, did you pull your pants down and fart on her? Or
I don't think I ever pulled my pants down, but I would just like wait till everyone was gone, and I would just go in and be like.
And then what did she do?
She would scream, say
nice.
something, and be like, ah, like she. I mean,
those girls were not nice to you on the show, but I'll tell you what. They lost a lot of fans because of you.
I don't think so.
No, I know.
I think that there's people who like to bully people, and they like people who bully people.
Well, I know on the underground, they became like hated, all of them, because of that.
Yeah, well, the underground is like got my back.
They're hardcore fans. Now, Angela Hill.
We did a documentary. Actually, have you seen it?
I did see it. In
You
fact,
watched
I'm the
it?
one who got you that.
What do you
because
mean?
I introduced you to the guy at my show who filmed it for you.
You introduced me to Jonathan at your show?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
See, no one remembers that. No one remembers the shit I do for them. Jonathan came to a show, and I said, it was outside in Vegas.
Oh, and then he filmed me here. He had an interview with me. Okay, yeah, here in Vegas.
And then he was doing a documentary with you.
Yeah.
So, you're welcome. All right, so...
Everyone pay their respects
Well,
to
you
King
should watch
Adam.
it. If you haven't seen it, watch it.
I saw it. I was so happy, and I'm like...
Did you like it? Was it interesting? I watched it. I thought it was interesting. I'd like sit there and I'd be like, I'm going to turn it off, and then I'd be like, oh, I'm like actually kind of like interested.
I like
and
that. I
about
also like the fact that I helped make it happen.
Okay.
But of course, no one remembers that.
Thank you,
No
Adam.
one-
Thank you,
Jeez,
Adam.
No respect.
Fucking unsung
You can
hero.
find that on YouTube.
Hey, I don't get no respect.
Seriously, I'm like Rodney, except without the money or the success. so Jessica Andrade, Angela Hill. So what do you think is going to happen, CB?
I think it pains me to say this, but I think Jessica's going to destroy Angela. I think, Joanna said she's waiting for this week to announce her next opponent. Everybody thinks it's Michelle Watterson. I think they need to wait. I think the best fight they could book right now is if Jessica beats Angela Hill, you book Jessica and Joanna, because that is a fucking war for a title. But I think Jessica Andrade, most likely first round knockout.
Heather?
Wow.
I told you. I think Jessica's going to beat her. Probably TKO or submission.
Fuck.
No, I say submission. Submission.
I'm pulling for Angie. I'm really pulling for Angie. I think she's got the speed over her. Angie got the speed. But this other girl just is like a mini Vanderlei Silva in his prime. I mean, she just gets you in the corner and throws these fucking wide punches that are, they just hurt you. And she was a 135
She's a black belt too, yeah?
I couldn't believe she was 135, but she's really, really little. Like,
Yeah,
she's
she is.
really little. She's like 5'2", 5'3".
She just dropped a little muscle. It's basically what Cyborg, is trying to do. Dropped some muscle and some fat, and no big deal.
Also, another girl that you don't like, that you beat, Rowdy Beck, is fighting Tisha Torres.
Yeah.
It's a rematch, right? They had a fight on the house.
Yeah, they did.
It's a good fight. Fuck. Who wins this fight?
Tisha, of course. My Storm sister.
Your
Tisha.
Storm sister.
My Storm sister.
Now, did you know she was going to be a lesbian?
No, No. I mean, I remember last time I went out there to Florida to visit her.
Why are you laughing?
After my fight in Rotterdam, and she was like, we were talking about relationships and stuff, and she had never been with a girl before.
Well, I don't know if she still has been with a girl. No, go on. I'm kidding. But
Are you serious?
but Raquel's more of a dude than I am. But no, Raquel's a beautiful lady, but
Yeah,
she's
she is.
fucking. But she's
mean, yeah.
she's a mean. She dresses doesn't dress very effeminate, but and she looks very strong. But they're a beautiful couple. They're in love.
Yeah.
It's adorable,
It is
actually.
really cute.
And they spar together. That's got to
Yeah.
be weird, sparring with your girlfriend.
I don't know. I've sparred with my boyfriends,
Who?
Diego, and I dated a guy at Syndicate for a couple months. Who? His name was AJ.
AJ Matthews?
No, we don't need to talk about that.
AJ
It was a
McLean?
couple months. What?
No. AJ the wrestler? What is it? AJ
Styles.
AJ Styles?
And I dated my coach when I first started.
Who's your coach?
Alberto Pisanini.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
He used
happy that
try
you're
to beat the
not
shit out of
separating
me.
work from relationships. All right, so Tisha Torres.
I think with the sparring with Tisha and Raquel, whoever wins in the sparring is to be on top.
Yeah, look at Nina and Nunes.
So you think Tisha Torres wins?
Which, by the way, I'm going to have them on my podcast for my first guests are Nunes and Ansarov.
Aw.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Tisha, by the way, she's coming off a loss to Rose. Before that, she beat Jocelyn Lynn. She beat Angela Hill. She beat Magana. She fucking destroyed Magana.
That was a great night.
So Rowdy Beck. Rowdy Beck's always in the fight, though. She's a scrapper.
And so she gets knocked out by Dancing with the Stars.
She was winning that fight, though. She was
I don't
beating
think
Paige.
she was really
beating
winning.
Paige.
Not
I'm
by-
putting
not
on
a
my
lot,
sunglasses because there's some major shade being thrown in this house.
Nah, it's not like it. I mean, Paige is cool. I really like Paige. Like, she's actually out here in LA, so we might go train together or hang out
Did she
or
leave
whatever.
Alpha Male?
No, she's just out here visiting. I'm not sure why.
She's training Kings right now.
She did train at Kings. We might go train at Wildcard or something. But no, I think that she's really good for the sport. I think she represents the sport well as a pretty feminine.
Paige Van Zandt? Yeah. And you Rowdy ever make up or no?
No, that girl's just gross.
Why is she gross?
What do you mean? Why is she gross? She just the stuff that she I mean, I don't know. I think I'm blocked. But the stuff that I've seen from before is just that she posts is just not professional. Like, you can do whatever you want to do in real life. Be whoever you want to be. Screw whoever you want to screw. Do whatever drugs you want to do. Do it all, but do it privately. You don't need to put it out on blast. It's not professional. That's just the bottom line. It's not professional to post those types of things. I just think you can be fun and you can be
Yeah, but you
like
post pictures of you like half naked. Like,
I didn't
they're,
say-
they're like artistic shots.
yeah,
but they're still
but
like,
there's no, but okay, the half naked. I have one shirt I've ever posted. One picture I've ever posted. My shirt is off, and you see my back. It's like that's to me. It's not pornography.
people that
in
were
any
in front
way.
of you saw your tits though. They just weren't in the photo.
Oh, there is a girl photographer.
Right.
Yeah. She saw my boobs. Yeah, believe it or not. But
So she
there was
could have been.
nobody
I mean,
else there.
so there you go.
Anyway, my whole thing is what you post and what you put out there is supposed to be professional so that you can, be a
But what if
a
she says,
person
all right,
as
in
an
her defense, though,
example.
I've asked her about this, and she says, "This is who she is. She's actually a feminist."
Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
Be who you want to be. Be a feminist, even though she doesn't
But
know what
wouldn't it be
feminism
boring
is.
if everybody was like
Boring?
Yeah.
You don't have to be boring. She's not boring. She can post a lot of things about her uniqueness without being boring and without being classless. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, she can post, she's very eclectic in her style. She has, she can be funny. She can do all that wearing clothes. She can do all that, sitting with her legs closed. She doesn't have to be
Yeah, I hear you.
You get what I'm
So
saying?
you think when she says things like anal doesn't make babies.
You
and
don't
stuff,
need to
like-
say stuff like that.
right
Up the butt, no baby.
up the butt, no babies.
That was
yeah.
what Magana said, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we want to. So
right.
to me, I'm just saying that's what I believe is being professional. I'm not judging her. That's what people are like. You shouldn't judge people, and I'm like, I'm not judging her for who she is. She can be whoever she wants. I don't care.
I think honestly though,
it's about being professional in a public manner.
in her defense though, and I think I understand your point. I think if she was nice to you and wasn't mean to you, these girls were mean to you for no reason. I've hung out with you a million times. Sometimes you do get a little bit like you become a 90-year-old Jewish man, or Jewish grandma. And certain times you get a little naggy, but it's adorable, and I see through it, and I see your good qualities. You have amazing qualities, so I would never get mad at you. Those other girls, they were mean to you, okay, and that wasn't nice. They did it on TV. They bullied you. They were making fun of you. Totally bullshit. You had a torn ACL, and you were still fighting, and it was fucking bullshit. That being said, let's say Magana was nice to you. Let's say she was like so sweet. Would you have a problem with her showing her pussy flaps?
I would
and stuff?
still. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I wouldn't.
It doesn't matter if they're nice to me. I'm sure if I can sit here long enough, I could talk about girls that I like personally that I still don't agree with certain things that they post.
All right. Okay.
You get what I'm saying? And I can be judgmental about the fact that I think people should be professional. If they want to say something about the sport, say something about, it's certain things should be private. I don't know. I don't know what else to say.
I understand.
I'm kind of old fashioned that way. I think that wouldn't want, if I had a daughter, I wouldn't want my daughter acting like that.
Me neither.
Would you, right?
No, you're right. So Chad Skelly versus Chris Grutzemacher. Who's Chris Grutzemacher?
I don't know.
He was on The Ultimate Fighter. He was on Faber's team with Ryan Hall and those guys. The Faber-Connor season.
Is he good?
He's a good wrestler. He's gritty, but he's very green.
Chad Skelly's a fucking beast.
Chad Skelly is a beast, but you got beef with him because he fucked your parlay up.
Nobody knows that. Okay.
Nobody knows that. Everybody knows that.
I know, but I've since that's I know, but I still like him.
I think Skelly for sure. I think he outclasses him everywhere it can go.
And finally, Daniel Jolly, whose nickname is the Werewolf of Texas, is taking on Khalil Roundtree.
That is a badass nickname.
I believe so too.
It's a weird fight. Jolly, good kid. Khalil. The problem, and I said it about Khalil every time he fucking fights, plus the fact
he won't work his jiu-jitsu.
The last time he fucking fought was what, like a month ago, 2 months ago? He has no ground game. If you're fighting Khalil, take him down and you win. It's over. You don't even have to know jiu-jitsu.
I've heard he doesn't want to train jiu-jitsu, or he doesn't even try.
He has great stand-up. He's got some of the most powerful kicks. He's a crazy stand-up fighter. But if you get this dude on his back or on the ground, it's over. You beat him.
Gotcha.
So who's he fighting?
Daniel Jolly.
Who's he? Is he a grappler?
I'm sure he's going to be now.
Right.
I mean...
All right. So, that is our podcast. Thank you,
Tremendous.
American Icon Autographs, AISE.com. Check them out if you want anything, any memorabilia signed. They are the people to go to. They have everything. I've been to their warehouse. It's insane. I've never seen more autographs in my life, from everything, from wrestling to fighters to 80 stars to, I mean, it keeps going. It's incredible, to sign cages to gloves. I mean, anything that you could imagine somebody has signed, like extras sign shit, and the guy has it. He has it's insane. He has it's insane. All right. So, but yeah, that's the guy to go to. We are on Tip a Fighter. If you like our podcast, tip us. Heather, what do you got to promote?
You can go to my Instagram and my my Twitter, and it's Heather Jo Clark, Heather J.O. Clark. And check out my new podcast coming out probably next week. It'll be on it's by Revolver, and it will be on all the iTunes and all the same ones that you can find.
And will you come back and join us again in studio?
Yeah,
we love having you.
Yeah.
You're a breath of fresh air. You're a girl.
Thank you.
You're the only one of us out of the three who've had real fights, and you're amazing. You're an amazing, sweet, good person. You actually make the world a better place.
Thank you.
And I'm proud to be your friend.
Thank you.
So thank you, Joe. What do you got?
Well, man, I got some good news.
Oh God!
What is
Brace
it?
yourself, people.
No, I got a show booked at Flappers March 30th. It's my birthday show.
Yeah, someone just asked me to do this just now, Augustino, 2 seconds ago.
He just texted me too. That's why I'm announcing it.
Oh, okay.
You can do it if you want. It's on a Thursday, I think.
Okay.
If you want to come headline.
So are you going to do shows before that?
Yeah, I always do shows. Just
Nice.
open mics, not real shows, though. So
Okay, cool.
He's at home and his dad's watching.
You
Nice.
can also listen to Ween Dog Radio on iTunes and now on YouTube, Ween Dog TV.
And what happened to the cutter? The girl that was cutting herself during sex?
No,
I had to
he
get
was
rid of
cutting
her.
her.
I
What?
I blocked her.
You
'Cause
blocked
she
her?
kept messaging me like a crazy stalker. I'm like, yo, I can't do this no more.
She wanted him to
I am
cut
so
her with
scared.
a box cutter while they were having sex.
Now I'm freaking out that I'm back in LA and I'm going to meet guys that are like fucking psycho. This is like.
This is what's out
he
there.
means all the
I'm not
psycho
even going to date.
girls.
I'm not even going to
He
date.
means the psycho girls.
Yeah, but
He's
there are
just
guys out here just like that.
confused.
CB, what do you got?
Not much, man. Seriously, like not much really going on right now. Now that Bellator and all the fights in LA ended, I'm just hanging out.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, I will be at the Arroyo Grande tomorrow night at the Foguera Mountain Brewing Company. Friday night. That's Thursday night, actually. Friday night, I'm in Bakersfield. Saturday night in Merced. I'm at the Dime every Monday and Tuesday. I'm in Mesquite, Nevada at the Casablanca Casino March 10th. Pico Rivera, March 18th at the Iguana Lounge. Long Beach Laugh Factory, the 23rd of February, 24th, Mandalay Bay. March 1st, I'm doing stand-up comedy in Las Vegas with Dean Thomas and Mike Pyle. They are on the show. They want to do comedy. I'll be at the MMA Awards March 2nd, and in Calgary, the Comedy Cave, March 14th to the 19th. And the Madhouse Comedy Club, the 22nd in San Diego, and March 24th to 25th at the Comedy Palace in San Diego. So that's February and March. Also,
Adam, do you have any shows coming up?
yes, I will also be February 24th, South Point Casino, and February 24th, I will be in Mandalay Bay Casino at the top of Mandalay Bay. They're very funny. Thank you. Everyone's a fucking comedian when they come on the show. All right, so listen, thank you so
We gotta
much.
keep up with you.
I love it. I love it.
You know what might be good? You just post it on your website.
Who? Who did?
You just post your dates on your website.
I know, but I have to tell people. What do you mean? I don't know. Listen, I'm very confused. So thank
Welcome
you
to
all.
Joe's Everyday Life.
Thank you, Aljamain, for coming on the podcast. Tomorrow we got Frank Trigg and Bobby Gunn. So thank you so much, and take care.